these angry, mad, opportunistic, lying black women.
What black community? It's a black environment with black women and black children in it.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the black community?
Hey baby, what you no good.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help white people.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
Having hard times in this
Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Thanks for watching. You see the title. Is monogamy for white people? I don't come up with this stuff. We're going to respond to a Breakfast Club interview in a minute. The young black gentleman on the screen there, he is he's struggling with some issues there. And I've been thinking about this question on my own because when you listen to a lot of leftists and liberals talk about or criticize the way things are, one of the things I hear all the time is that, you know, the white patriarchal nuclear family structure is it's Eurocentric. If the traditional nuclear family is Eurocentric, what are you niggas trying to tell me? It's a good question, though. I mean, if family structure, if the traditional, or what we call the traditional family structure, is effectively Eurocentric, then what is the more traditional black family structure then? I'm really trying to work this out. Y'all. What if monogamy is an invention by the white man that he imposed upon the Negro? White man won't let you have these hoes.
Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times. There's no love to be found. Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times. There's no love to be found.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but get with the nerd, okay? My dad used to say nerds are the ones that make all the money, which in theory is true, but it's not even about the money. If you want to live a happy life, a fulfilled life, a worry-free life. See, girls be out here, oh my God, he might be out cheating, blah, blah, blah. No. Mans is over here building a Lego set. Mans just be watching shows, documentaries, Star Wars. No worries. And they're funny. They're smart. Date the nerd. I don't know who needs to hear this, but
I don't really understand what's happening on under 30 TikTok right now. You got streamers like Kai Cenat and then all his little homies. They're reading on air. The young boys are reading on air, and the young girls are saying that you should date the nerd. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I would trust it right away, but that's not even my wave. Those are the kids on that. That's like children's internet. The under 30 side of the internet. They're trying new things. The boys want to get literate, and the girls want to date nerds. Apparently, brave things are happening on under 30 black internet. But I also noticed that what's his face? I Show Speed. Yeah, that's his name. I Show Speed went to Africa, and he's having a lot of interesting moments traveling through Africa. He met a woman. I think she likes him. Starting to think that white Eurocentric family style is actually maybe it's a thing. Maybe that European patriarchal family thing, maybe there's something to it. I'm willing to bet up all the money in the world that the women of even ancient European, like cave women, didn't even do this. I don't even think cave bitches barked at you like that. That's not how the girls in the Shire run up on you. The women of the Shire don't run up on you barking with a seashell bra on. She sells seashells with her titties. And he barked back at her. What in the black love is this? I don't even understand this thing anymore. What is the black love happening here? I don't understand what's going on. But I mean, if this is what the kids are doing, who am I to judge? All right, I'm maybe I'm too old for this shit. I'm not in that phase of my life where I can just be barking at broads in public. Like I'm not there anymore. I'm really not there anymore. That's all. Maybe once upon a time you could have caught me in the streets barking at broads in public, but you know. That phase of my life is done. You know, speaking of white man family styles, I have a message for I'm from the white man. Yeah. Yeah, I have a message from the white man, ladies. This doesn't apply to all of you, but to whom it does apply, take note.
Ladies, this one is for you. So we have thousands of you in our inbox and you're all looking for white men. Well, I'm going to tell you, don't date a white man just for status. A white man is not going to change your life. We are just the same as a black guy. A white man can be broke. A white guy can cheat. A white man can have a wife and pretend he is not married so he can have another girlfriend. So we are exactly the same as the black race. So please do not come in my inbox saying you just want a white guy.
Now, you can tell them it's exactly the same, but they're not going to believe it. They're not going to believe it, you know? And you sound a bit leprechaunish too. The girls are going to hear that and they're going to be like, nah, he just doesn't want me to get his Lucky Charms.
A white man can have a wife and pretend he is not married so he can have another girlfriend. So we are exactly the same as the black race. So please do not come in my inbox saying you just want a white guy because you think your life will change just by dating this white guy. It won't. A lot of white guys are broke. A lot of white guys are cheaters. So this is what I've come on here to say today to you ladies, especially because a lot of you are in our inbox and your life will not change just by dating a white guy. So thank you, take care, and we are going live in 10 minutes.
Now I'm curious. Now I wonder what his live was about. Now I'm wondering what his live was about. Apparently, this girl right here didn't get the memo, though.
I've always thought that Black women and white men made so much more sense in terms of coupling than white women and Black men. And I don't like to have thoughts like this go unexplored or unresearched. So I put in the time to see why I kind of always had this double standard, like since I was a child and just able to fathom race in America. I want to preface that this is very, very specific to American culture and that race consciousness is inseparable from our daily life. And I understand that this is a discriminatory double standard. I do come from a biracial family, a mixed race family, and the majority of our family couplings that are biracial, it's a Black woman and white man. But I wanted to get into the thinking behind this. We're stripping away from all romance. I'm not discrediting or dehumanizing anybody. It's a very provocative theory that I'm arguing that Black women, white men pairing is more of a power couple and structurally sound than the inverse of Black men, white woman. But we're going to take a look on the logic of American upward mobility, which I feel was really what I have always believed since I was a child. And I've always had this reasoning for it. Black women hold the highest degrees of education in America, and we also hold #1 purchase power in America, and white men obviously hold the keys to all the structures that hold up America, the privilege, the generational wealth. Their word has the highest value in America. And the vehicle, the fastest way for
white men, beware. She only wants you for your privilege. You got to understand, she only wants you for your privilege, white man. She only wants you for your privilege juice.
The highest degrees of education in America, and we also hold #1 purchase power in America, and white men obviously hold the keys to all the structures that hold up America, the privilege, the generational wealth. Their word has the highest value in America. And the vehicle, the fastest way for a Black woman to mobilize herself to the top in America in terms of relationships and who she's associating herself with would be marrying a white man. I would label the white male partner the incumbent. Why that word is because it really demonstrates that his position is so powerful. He has capital, historical, generational capital, the money, the assets, the equity. The numbers are undeniable. White household holds 84.2% of all wealth in America. The median net worth gap between white and Black households in America is 10-1. So you're looking at roughly $250,000 versus $24,000 per household. Black women have attained so much educationally. Black women earn over 71% of all master's degrees awarded to Black students. Even though she has such high earning potential, she may lack the generational wealth. She may never be able to see and achieve her highest earning potential without someone who brings that capital and has generations that back them. So,
white men, do you understand? Black women cannot reach their highest potential without your help. Black women, they need you. They need the white man so they can reach their highest level of Black female awesomeness.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
They need you. on the wall, on their body, everywhere. They need you.
The white male partner for the black woman, they kind of sort out and cancel out each other's liabilities, which maximizes upward mobility. A merging of a black woman and a white man makes so much sense in being highly efficient in terms of merging capital and upward mobility in America. But that is not the same for a black man and a white woman. It's actually harmful for their mobility upwards in this country. And their word compared to a white man means nothing, being a woman and also being a black man. So we're viewing these pairings as pure mergers of assets and risk. That's the frame.
I mean, can you give me at least some data to prove that the word of a black male, white female couple means nothing compared to a white male, black female couple? I mean, not that I'm calling you a liar outright, but I would like to hear at least a little bit of data. Can we get some numbers on that? You just threw that out there like it was God.
Man and a white woman is actually harmful for their mobility upwards in this country. And their word compared to a white man means nothing, being a woman and also being a black man. So we're viewing these pairings as pure mergers of assets and risk. That's the frame. In the next video, I'm going to be going into the black man, white woman pairing. And this is me being vulnerable, guys. I told you guys that this is a double standard. This is discriminatory, and is also a thought that I've had my entire life. I've had the same reasoning, but I wanted to research it and not be talking out of my behind. So I hope you guys stay tuned for the next video.
I'm gonna go look for her other video now. See if she pops up real quick. Let's see. I think I found her. All right. I don't know if I have the whole video, but I think I found her, y'all.
I've always thought that black women and white men made so much more sense in terms of coupling than white women and black men.
I wonder why you would think such a thing. She made 4 videos about this. I tapped out after 2. You're going to see why when I explain. Like, she's basically just talking about proximity to whiteness, which is so funny to me because I feel like that's what black men get accused of like longing for all the time. Basically, when she's talking about this, she's not arguing from the standpoint of who loves who and like just genuine relationships. She's talking about the pairing as if it's some sort of like business deal. Like, what makes more sense for capital and mobility? So it's like, already, unless you're going to tell me that most people are coupling up for solely business reasons, what is the point of what she's saying? It all just seems like an excuse to pseudo-intellectually say, oh my gosh, our interracial relationships are better than your guys's. One of her main points was black women are one of the most educated groups, and white men, like, their word means the most in America. And they have generational wealth because they're white or whatever. And she's basically saying that like a lot of black women, regardless of how educated they are, wouldn't get opportunities without like a white man behind them. And there's just a lot there. Okay, first of all, intersectionality. Why are we approaching the concept of black women and white men with no nuance whatsoever? Like, there was an argument like she made like with black men, white women, where she was like, oh, like white women can weaponize the police over black men. And that's like something where it's like objectively, yeah, any white woman in theory could do that. But on the other hand, being like white men have generational wealth and black women are the most educated, that's just one that's not always going to be true. And honestly,
you know what? I think this girl blocked her videos or blocked, she privated her channel because I can't see her videos anymore. Oh, wait. I think I got it. All right. That was just some type of glitch. That was just some type of glitch. But I don't see the video about white women. I think she might have deleted that other video. I don't know why the video isn't up here anymore. But these girls and their fantasies. Look at you, ready to go already. Stop jumping out the window. But I want to jump to the the main topic real quick. Let's jump over here to this Breakfast Club interview.
Okay, my actual, this is all connected, I promise. But my actual real theory or real beef is just like, does it ever feel like the way that we structure societies in the West, the nuclear family, does it ever feel like that's not natural to people like you know what I mean? Like all the people that I know that are good at monogamy or good at you know, just that sort of nuclear family are white.
So right off the bat, he says, does it ever feel like the nuclear family isn't really built for people like us? And he's in a room full of, you know, black people, whatever. It's the Breakfast Club. And I think it's I don't know, he's experiencing a little bit of weird self-consciousness. Let's run it back a little bit.
Does it ever feel like the way that we structure societies in the West, the nuclear family, does it ever feel like that's not natural to people like you know what I mean? Like all the people that I know that are good at monogamy or good at you know, just that sort of nuclear family are white. You know? And so I'm just
I disagree with that. What do you mean?
No, all the people I'm talking about personally through my life. You know what I mean? And so this topic excites me a lot.
Okay.
Now, I'm curious. I wonder, let's see if I can pull up Chat GPT or something. I need to ask Chat GPT a question. Let's ask Chat GPT questions, you guys. We're doing it. We're doing it. I know it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's risky, but we're going in America. Between white and black people, who reports highest rates? Stupid typos. Of infidelity. Damn it, Chat GPT. Why'd you have to hit him with that? Based on U.S. survey data, Black adults tend to report higher rates of infidelity than white adults when comparing self-reported cheating behaviors, though the overall differences aren't huge and vary depending on the study and definitions used. Cited analysis of American adults, about 22% of ever married Black adults reported having cheated on their spouse, compared with about 16% of ever married white adults. Hispanics in the same sample reported about 13%. Are Hispanics more loyal? Oh, wow. I would have never thought that. Let me find out the Latinos are more loyal. That's a crazy thing to consider. I would have never put that out there. Amazing. No, among men, specifically in that data, Black men reported the highest infidelity rates, around 28, followed by white men around 20. Ah, man. Interesting. We are putting up numbers, y'all. Putting numbers up on the board. We're gonna come back to Chat GP in a minute. Might think of something else to ask the chat. So far, there seems to be a little tiny bit of validity to the premise here.
Natural to people like you know what I mean? Like all the people that I know that are good at monogamy or good at you know, just that sort of nuclear family are white. You know? And so I
disagree with that. What do you mean?
No, all the people I'm talking about personally through my life. You know what I mean? And so this topic excites me a lot.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's so much responsibility to put on one man in a house.
What, to be faithful?
Like, well, I'm speaking about for me. Yeah, I would say to be faithful. I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay. Yeah, you still got a different type of dick than us.
Oh my God.
Hey, well,
okay, that was a little bit pause. That was a little bit pause worthy. You know what, Charlemagne? We're just gonna move right along because that was too much pause for one moment.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like you're faithful man now.
Now, yes.
But there was a time you're supposed to provide. You're supposed to go out and deal with all the shit in the world that you're protecting your family from, your girls. You're supposed to go out, provide, deal with all this shit, protect.
Yeah.
And someone gets to tell you what you can and can't do with your dick as well. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, damn.
I don't even know if those two things are connected like that. I'm just saying, like, because you went out in the world, like you were late for work, your boss had an attitude with you, things went wrong at work all day. Damn, I need some new pussy. I don't know if that's exactly how that works, though. But I mean, you go for it, bro.
I don't think it's about somebody telling you what you can and can't do. When you, decide to make vows with a woman and you tell God, this is the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with and be faithful. You made that commitment.
Exactly. Which is why, I have a woman in my life that I love and I care about very much, but it feels irresponsible. No, she's not.
Okay.
She's not.
Is she what?
Life that I love and I care about very much, but it feels irresponsible.
Oh, Charlemagne asked her if she's white. You said my white girlfriend's trying to make me monogamous, and this is just not my culture. No, she's not white though. She's not white, but Charlemagne is funny for that. That was a funny question.
A woman in my life that I love and I care about very much, but it feels irresponsible. No, she's not.
Okay,
she's not. But it feels very irresponsible of me to make that promise
because you're not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's
but
real,
I'm like,
though.
am I going to be ready when I'm 50? When you know what I mean?
But that's honest though. That's the way you should be. And, I respect and most people our age wish we would have been that honest a long time ago. That's a level of emotional intelligence a lot of us didn't have.
Yeah. But I
hate that phrase, emotional intelligence. Because your emotions literally aren't intelligent. Like, you have to use your intelligence to like wade through your emotions and find something real you can use, you know? Emotional intelligence is a word that they made up so girls feel smart.
I just think like so much in the society in which we live is counterintuitive. I'm like, what were we doing before imperialism, before colonialization, when we were, wherever we were on the globe?
You mean when niggas was primitive? Is that what you mean? People love to talk about, before the white man showed up, before colonization. You mean before you had access to electricity and clean water? Before you had indoor plumbing? Before you even knew what toilet paper was? You didn't even know that was a thing? You just went in the bush and figured it out? You really want to go back to that? And you want to figure that out?
Living unbothered by anybody, trying to take or exploit or do anything. Is this how we set up our families and how we set up our communities?
Well, no, like you can go to other
one man, one woman, children, house, neighbors, stay over there, don't talk to strangers. Like, all this sort of is this natural? Is this the way we
like isolation?
It's so isolated. You're in a home in the suburbs and you have a car and you have a backyard. And all this shit is happening in everybody's homes, and we're supposed to go out and like not talk to each other. Look how kids behave. My mom takes pills to go to. They're on at the park talking about my mom does this. They want to connect. They want to go out and whatever. And we train them from young. No, your neighbor's not your friend. That's the thing. These societies, there's too many people, and you get on the bus and you might get stabbed in your neck or something because.
Who's stabbing people in the neck on the bus, bro? I mean, really? Who's doing all the stabbing on the bus, bro? Come on now.
There's no trust because everybody, you know what I mean?
Ayala Bonzan was here and she talked about intellectual.
You know, this is almost like asking a fish to explain water. Like the monogamous Western family setup is effectively the grounding of this entire order here, and you just don't seem to understand how it's supposed to work.
Spirit, and I think that's what you're doing right now. You're intellectualizing your spirit when you should just feel. If what you feel is true to you, then let that be cool. If you don't feel like you're ready to settle down with one woman at 30, it's okay, and be honest with that woman. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's like he came to the Breakfast Club to break up with his girlfriend, low key. Like low key, you can't just talk about some shit like this in public, and then you go home and your girlfriend be like, "So, you don't like monogamy or nothing? What? Because you black, you supposed to have some hoes or something, nigga? Oh, if I was a white woman, you wouldn't be talking all this polygamy shit, would you?" I feel like he just really wanted out the relationship that he's in right now, and he thought of a clever fight. He just came up with some shit where he could be like, "Babe, what you talking about? I don't even know why you mad. I was just on the club. I was just talking shit on a radio show."
I think it's more than that, though. For you, I think it's the whole thing. Like it's deeper.
I'm doing that. It gets.
What was your
It's
household
deeper
like
than
growing
that.
up?
It was honestly, it was great. It was a Caribbean household. You know what I mean? But it was like, do you know what the thing was? Because I have the same experience as so many other people that look like me. I was the one Caribbean household on us. I grew up on.
He keeps mentioning, all these people that look like me. And right now he's about to tell a little story about, where he grew up. And I think he's got a deep, deep set racial insecurity. And he just can't work it out. He has to blame phantom concepts like the white nuclear family and shit.
Experience as so many other people that look like me. I was the one Caribbean household on us. I grew up on this private high school academy. My dad worked there, right? This was a white school, white town, white.
He's from Canada, by the way. Don't assume he's like an American Negro. No. He's one of them other Negroes. Don't let the Afro fool you. The nigga like from Montreal or Quebec or some shit.
And so I'm the only Caribbean family on this street where all the
rich white kids live.
Yeah, they weren't even rich. It just felt like they were rich because they all had cottages and shit. But everyone's making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And and so it's purely just like everyone gets beat as a kid, but like when you live on that street, you're the only one that gets beat, and then all these things feel.
You the only kid that got beatings when you grew up? That's crazy. How come none of the white kids get their ass whipped? Because them kids not privileged. Them kids are privileged. You're not having the privilege.
So much more egregious because of proximity to what everyone's living like around you. You know what I mean?
M1B white pickney them. M1B white pickney them. You can't be no white pickney boy.
Everyone gets beat as a kid, but like when you live on that street, you're the only one that gets beat, and then all these things feel so much more egregious because of proximity to what everyone's living like around you. You know what I mean? And so when I get older,
was your household growing up a tight household where it was just your mom and your dad, and you seen that union that you looking for it.
100%, 100%.
Okay.
But I also see what is sacrificed in oneself to sustain that.
So you have conversations with your father though? Like about that? Have you had conversations? Did he tell you that he was faithful to his wife? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he tell you he was happy?
Right.
Yeah. But it's kind of like there are just some things. Sometimes I look at like married couples.
Every time he used to get a beating as a kid, he used to wish he had a white family. Every time his mother used to give him a beating, he's like, I wish I had a white mom. I can't wait till I get older. I'm gonna get me a white mom. When I die, I'm gonna go to Snow Bunny heaven, mom.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
Oh man. Yearning for a white mom. Unbelievable.
About that, have you had conversations? Did he tell you that he was faithful to his wife? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he tell you he was happy?
Right.
Yeah. But it's kind of like there are just some things. Sometimes I look at like married couples and stuff like that. If it almost feels like a big conspiracy where it's just like we're married, so of course we're happy because we're married and everyone should want marriage. The whole
he thinks it's a conspiracy. His dad and mom have the happy marriage relatively like the white families around him. You know, every family is different, but you know, happy families are similar in their happiness. And his mom and dad have that, and he thinks it's a conspiracy. Can you imagine watching your mom and dad like be happy around the house and you're just like,
How do it equivalent?
He doesn't understand how happiness equivalates, y'all. The nigga's struggling.
See, where it's just like we're married, so of course we're happy because we're married and everyone should want marriage. This whole society is structured is based off of people getting married, having families, going out to their job, and what you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
I get
even
what
if you're
you're
not,
saying.
it's like
Yeah,
the real.
That's the grind. Get married, get a job, make some babies, and learn how to have fun in the middle. You got to pick your shots, bro. There's work to be done.
Reality is like as over time, as women get more rights in society, divorce goes up. So it's like everybody's happy, but is everybody happy if everybody's getting divorced? My parents are still together, mind you.
Now that's a completely different issue. Notice, you know, he doesn't want to say it directly like I would, but he doesn't like the idea of women having rights either, apparently.
The reality is like as over time, as women get more rights in society, divorce goes up. So it's like everybody's happy, but is everybody happy if everybody's getting divorced? My parents are still together, mind you.
Right.
And they love each other and they respect each other. But I just sometimes I think, and I'm just like, I know, and I'm the same as my dad. Sometimes it's like he's bound by honor. He's a man of his word. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you are my kids. I'm not going to run out on you. But you can't lie about what's going on in your head. Like when you come home and you're like, bro, this shit again. You know what I mean? It's
macaroni again. Every day I come home and it's the same goddamn mac and cheese. Every day, just mac and cheese. Just noodle, water, and that little nasty ass cheese powder packet every day. That's how he looks at it, though. It's crazy.
Like, I'm doing the job because I'm bound by honor to do the job, but I would rather be out being a person, being free, running around.
I get what you're saying, but marriage is hard work. Like nobody ever said it wasn't. Yeah, I think when you have conversations with married, it's hard, it's tough. You know what I mean? You're gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days.
But you have to want to do it.
But you gotta want to do it. Yeah.
And for me,
I think he's got like a primitive yearning for the clan matriarchy network. something deep in his melanated soul yearns for the primitive clan system.
I have dedicated my life to making art, and sometimes it feels as though it's like they're kind of
battling each other.
But
You
you're
know?
also only 30 though. Yeah, you're very young. But you know what? Somebody said this to me yesterday, right? They were doing my kids' hair, and she said, you know, I'm surprised to see you like this with your kids. And I was like, well, what does that mean? She was like, I do people's hair all the time. And usually the breadwinners make money when they come home, they go in their little cocoon and they don't want to see their kids. It was like, but you help your kids with homework. You pick them up, you take them to dance, you this, that, and the other. Because I have a responsibility to my kids. I love them. It doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel like I'm coming home and, oh, fuck, I got to do this again. No, that's why I had those kids. That's why I love those kids. There are some people that feel differently and say, you know what? I'm more into my art. I need to create. You take care of the kids. But those are the kids that are usually, you know, don't have a father, need a father figure, have those type of traumas and have those type of problems. I care more about raising those kids than any art form, than any type of money, than anything like that. But I see that. But that's the commitment that I made to my family. I didn't have to. I didn't have to have those kids.
right.
You didn't have to have kids or whatever it may be. But once you make that commitment to have that child or that relationship, as a man, you talk about honor, you should do what's right.
Well, you know, and he's actually speaking to something I think maybe is a relatively ancient concept, right? Like, I think the idea of like patriarchy and civilization and whatnot are deeply connected to a man having ownership over his own children and therefore like seeing a future through his children. And that kind of binds him to the society around him. And so, and especially like once you literally have children, there's something very tangible about like the job in front of you. It's not theoretical or abstract anymore. And then you know, at that point, it's a choice. You know, you're either all in or you're not.
Let me know if you need another hairstylist for them kids, because she wasn't supposed to say that to you. I'm surprised that you ain't here like that.
Also, too, you know, when you bring Dominican kids to like a black Sabbath, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know how that goes. Like, that shit,
I'm black.
Before we get off this topic, right? Because this whole conversation reminds me of Sins of a Father, the song that you end your project with. In that project, you say dad was forgetful. He promised a lot. Thankfully, he never got caught. Then you talk about forgetting someone's birthday and someone saying, I'm sorry, dear. And you're struggling between the love.
This nigga got daddy issues. Just a nigga with daddy issues. Little Obama-like nigga.
Love and honor that your actual father has, and the love and honor that the father above is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So was your dad not like how Envy is describing he was? Is that where some of this like?
No, my dad was like that. That's what made me like that.
Exactly. And my dad's dad was an orphan from the slums of Jamaica. The man suffered. I can't imagine around that time, especially with the British over there fucking doing whatever the British do. The level of abuse that he sustained, I'm sure, is horrible. You know, and so sometimes I'm just like, no, my dad. I don't think he probably forgot my birthday. My mom wouldn't forget my birthday. No, not like.
Are you only child?
No. I got three brothers. But one of my favorite stories with my dad is him telling me about the time that his mom he's like at the dinner table with his mom, and she's like, wasn't it your birthday last week or something like that? And my dad was like, oh yeah, I guess it was my birthday. You know what I mean? And it's such a small little thing, but you're like, damn, and my family, we're not a birthday family. And
he really want that white family dynamic. And you know what? I mean, in a weird way, I can understand where he's coming from. Imagine being a black kid in the middle of like suburban white America, which is kind of like, I had that experience a lot, so I know. And everything around you is like models of white families on TV, especially older television. Like when I was young, you grew up in the 80s, old TV stuff is on TV all the time, like reruns and shit. And like you get a lot of these images of like the Leave It to Beaver moms, you know, the father knows best type of thing, you know, and your family isn't really like that at all. Like, especially like me in particular, like I had, you know, single mom and shit like that for the most part. So like, it was nothing like that. And then even when you have that Black family where your mom and dad are together, it's still nothing like that. And then they gave us the Cosby Show, where we finally had a good Black TV mom. And it was still nothing like that.
I always, like with girlfriends and stuff, I like Christmas, birthdays, I resent that's like, because I will buy you. Sometimes I'll be out and I'll see something that makes me think of you, and I'll be like, I love this girl so much. I'm gonna get this for her right now. But when birthday comes, don't look at me. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I'm not subscribing to this
I agree
whole
with that.
shit.
Now that I agree with. I don't
get
like
what
the
you're
expectation. It's
No.
just like
Yeah.
I do this all year round. Like, why do I have to do it on this specific
Or
day?
I do it when I
Maybe not for birthday, but definitely for Christmas. I feel that way.
Exactly. I don't like I just don't like that.
You don't like the pressure of the whole responsibilities.
There's so many variables and exterior pressures on us all the times. And I'm clearly like, I get a little neurotic and like, I'll like follow a train of thought, like very, very deep.
Shout out to interesting name. Shout out to the library card holder with the 5-ball. He says he didn't have the time or words to say it clearly, but I get his point. Yeah, and I think that's why I wanted to kind of walk through this interview, at least this part of it, because he's touching on something that I think might, you know, a lot of Black people in America especially might relate to in a weird way. Like I said, I can kind of understand where he may be coming from in a weird way in my own parallel universe, you know.
I actually know exactly what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, so
You don't like
who are
systems.
we?
Yeah, you don't like systems.
No, especially because all the systems that we exist in, like, we are the least valuable people in those systems. You know what I mean? So it's like, I resent all these systems, all these structures. And so me doing whatever the fuck I want and saying things, and I can be very obnoxious. I can be very irritating and annoying sometimes, but it's just like it did, how this interview started. Sometimes just being whoever you are is the rebellion, or is the,
you know, and that's another thing too. And he's definitely left leaning in his politics. I can just tell from a lot of his speech, his syntax or whatever. And I noticed that there is a strong anti-family pull, a sort of anti-natal, anti-life pull in the left-leaning direction. And you almost kind of resent your own existence to some level. And the whole thing, you kind of start to spiral down in a lot of ways if you don't kind of pull yourself out of it. That's why family in and of itself is such a strong thing. It's a motivational force unto itself. But I want to leave this piece of the interview now because they're going to move away from this here. And I want to jump to something else that I want to use to buttress the conversation.
We're all pretty familiar with the image of the American nuclear family, with 2 parents, a couple of kids, and a loyal canine companion. But when did we start thinking of the nuclear family as the most natural one?
PBS, y'all, where does the nuclear family where does the nuclear family come from? And of course, hosted by a BBW, y'all.
How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the Black community?
Shout out to the library card holder again. Thanks for the support. Hit that like button, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Join the church.
I need that money.
So with Thanksgiving coming up, we thought it would be fun to talk about family. It's safe to say that most of us know more than a few families that don't fit into the typical nuclear family mold. Yet despite this diversity, if asked to describe a prototype of the American family, a lot of us will still recall images more reminiscent of Leave It to Beaver than anything we've witnessed in real life. But if all of us can imagine or know families of all shapes...
Didn't I just call that out? That is basically the quintessential image of the American family life. And I mean, obviously on the cover, they're a very white family, but you know, look at the order. There's an order to this picture. You know, the father, a little bit bigger than the mom, so he's slightly more of a towering, domineering figure than the mom. Then the mom, who's really the direct authority over the children, but the dad is, you know, the authority over the whole house, right? That's the basic picture of it all.
We've witnessed in real life. But if all of us can imagine or know families of all shapes, sizes, and styles, then why does the expression nuclear family still get lobbied around to represent some sort of idealized unit? Well, before we dive into the incongruous history of the family structure with the same name as the center of an atom, we should ask ourselves, what is the history of family structures before the idea of the nuclear family became the shorthand for normal? So this answer varies based on time period, region, and culture. Kinship, or the recognition of relationships between people within the same community or biological family, plays a huge role in how we define our family structure. And yes, everyone all over the world has a biological ancestry, but who and what we call our familial relations is not that cut and dry. In the Iroquois system, your father's brothers were also your father, and your mother's sisters were also your mother. In the Kaw-Nation kinship system, your mother's brother's daughter, who we would call your cousin, is also called your mother.
These are all clan-based structures, you know, tribes and whatnot.
And in the matrilineal Mazhou culture in northern China, women freely chose their partners, and who your biological father is not considered very important at all. Frequently, your biological father wouldn't even live with you, and your mother's brothers often fill in the role of the father figure.
You know, oddly enough, in rare cases around the world, you do find cultures that are naturally like single mother based effectively.
Plus, all of this is frequently even more complicated by language barriers. So if you think your family structure is weird, trust me, it's not. But in terms of European history, from the 1500s until the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, it was common for peasant families in Northern and Central Europe to live in two generational households, consisting of the parents as the older generation in charge of the family, and the children as the second generation. That was also because kids were a big part of the economic structure of the household, working with their parents to sustain the family's livelihood. At any given point in time, only less than 10% of these peasant families lived intergenerationally, in part because a lot of the grandparents didn't live long enough to make this a reality. And by the end of the Middle Ages, most families in those regions were in the traditional nuclear format, owing in part to the influence of the Christian church-sanctioned monogamy. By contrast, in the same periods in Eastern and Southern Europe, intergenerational living was much more common, with several generations of the family all living within the same household. But not everyone thought the nuclear family was ideal. In the 19th century, researchers who were studying family structures theorized that nuclear families they observed in manufacturing regions of Western Europe and in England might not be the best, since once
So nuclear family structures were first observed in manufacturing centers in Western Europe.
Children left to form their own families, it left elder parents alone. There are also other structures that were practiced, such as conjugal families or families that were connected through marriage, and consanguineal families, families that are connected by their common bloodline. But another big part of how families were defined centered on the question of marriage. Although there are more contemporary notions that marriage are about love, fidelity, building a life together, and making cute centerpieces out of mason jars, that wasn't always the case. Marriage is an ancient custom dating back thousands of years, and evidence shows that marriage customs have varied as widely as family structures. According to Stephanie Kuhn's, author of Marriage, A History, a lot of those marriages were more about family connections than love. What marriage had in common was that it really wasn't about the relationship between the man and the woman. It was a way of getting in-laws, of making alliances, and expanding the family labor force. How romantic. And marriage and
Yeah, it was a lot more practical than, you know, I just love you.
Includes a laundry list of options like arranged marriages where families choose their children's spouse, or polygamy where there are multiple marriages within one defined group. That includes both polygamy, or one man with multiple wives, and polyandry, or one woman with multiple husbands. And although polygamy is the more commonly known practice, accounts of polyandry exist in approximately 53 societies around the world, such as Tibet. Although religious marriages have a long history, as centuries have passed, the state has played a larger and larger role in regulating marriage practices.
Honestly, most marriages have some form of religious connotation to them, the ceremony or whatever. There's always some level of religiosity to the marriage.
So a marriage can have a religious ceremony, a civil ceremony, or a combination of both. And it wasn't until the last 250 years or so that the idea that marriages should be love matches started gaining traction. So we've established that families have lots of different shapes, sizes, and customs. So that brings us to our next question. When did the nuclear family become shorthand for the American household? Well, the use of the specific phrase nuclear family in English can be dated back to the 1920s.
Okay. The phrase itself goes back to the 1920s, but by then, for the phrase to even be established, the practice had to be well established long before the phrase would even become, reported. And a shout out to library card holder again with the 5-ball. I don't remember whose live it was, maybe Dr. Thunder's, but I remember you saying player's remorse. Yeah. Player's remorse is definitely a thing. We're talking about Black family structures and mating patterns, and I'm not even going to get into all that, but that was a good callback. I did kind of coin that whole phrase and explore that concept intellectually. Shout out to all the remorseful players out there, y'all.
How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the Black community?
Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
But as the evidence shows, the concept or form of the nuclear family wasn't exactly new. But in the 1950s US, the Cold War was accompanied by an economic boom, the growth of suburban developments on the outskirts of major cities, and a growth in the middle class and a population surge, all of which encouraged the nuclear family. But it wasn't inherently a natural development. PSAs and how-to videos broadcast across the country were specifically designed to teach families how to behave appropriately and what to do if they were going to achieve this stylized ideal. But these realities were marked heavily by divisions of class and race, as the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s was occurring simultaneously. So
the white people were trying to perfect the family model, and the Black people were marching for civil rights, y'all. That's the long story short of it. Of course, the racism had to come up at some point.
Even though in the 1960s, some historians and sociologists interested in family structures were concluding that nuclear families were the only widely spread version of the family, the contemporary reality for many American families differed greatly from the ones presented in popular media. But I mean, if even the Brady Bunch was blended, then that leads us to asking our final question. Is the nuclear family really the most popular form in the US? And if not, what kind of families are out there? Well, let's look at the data. According to the US Census Bureau, in 2012,
I think popular is the wrong way to go, because I think it's the ideal in the sense that, people, when they get married, they're almost like 99.99999% of the time, it's one man, one woman getting married, and with the expectation of it being one man, one woman. So I think ideal is more the phrase here. I don't know how popular it should be, but it's more the ideal.
66% of households were family households, down from 81% in 1970. And in those same years, married couples with children under 18 dropped from 40% to 20%. Black and Latino children were more likely to live in single-parent households, and households with only one person jumped from 17% to 27%. So it seems that while married couples with kids still describes a substantial number of families in the US, that number is shifting every day. But in the last 100 years, marriages and families have continued to evolve, at least in regards to the types of unions becoming legally recognized and visible in the popular consciousness. The political and legal system of a region can determine the types of marriages recognized by law, which in turn impacts the type of families that are most visible. In 1967, the Supreme Court case of Loving v. Virginia struck down all laws prohibiting interracial marriage in the United States. And in 2015, Obergefell versus Hodges ruled that laws against same-sex marriage in the US were unconstitutional. But
now, what does got to do with the nuclear family?
Families also exist outside of legal and state recognition, and that's not a new phenomenon. In ancient Greece, alumni was the term for children who were fostered by another family, and there is legal precedent for adoption dating back to the Code of Hammurabi in the 18th century BC. And today, there are over 250,000 adoptions worldwide every year. So clearly, blood ties, marriage, and children aren't the only ways that family can be defined. So how does it all add up? Well, marriages, families, and kinship groups have been going strong for thousands of years in almost every configuration that we can think think of, and that includes the nuclear family. But while the image of the nuclear family is often held up as the ideal and only form a family can take, whether or not that's true seems to vary by social group and region. But as we gear up for the holidays and think about passing various side dishes to members of our own family with both joy and maybe a little bit of caution, it's important to remember whatever form, shape, or size it takes, we have the power to define what family should look like for ourselves. So,
and there it is, y'all. We get to define family for ourselves, you know. Shout out to the BBW Keisha, destroying the nuclear family every chance she gets.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
But is the nuclear family a white thing? Let me share something with you guys here. Look. Apparently, DNA from European Neolithic burials suggests that monogamy was the dominant practice, right? Ancient genomes from a French Neolithic burial site dating from 4850 to 4500 BC. Across 7 generations, descent was traced almost exclusively through the male line, with 51 of 57 males sharing a single Y chromosome haplogroup. Only 6 of the 20 adult women buried were descendants of the main pedigree, and most adult mothers present had no ancestors buried at the site. Perhaps most notably, they found a distinct absence of half siblings in the sample. Unless polygamous offspring were buried elsewhere, this strongly suggests that this was a monogamous community. Ms. Cantrell says monogamy is the human mapping that equals more children survive. I don't know how true that is. I think that is true under other optimal conditions as well. And I think I've talked about this before, right? There are effectively 2 different approaches to child rearing in terms of like the human species. There's basically what I call like the shotgun method, where you just have babies, and you know, if they live, they live. If they die, they die. You know, you do your best or whatever. And then there's the more like monogamous method, where you kind of lock in with one partner, and then all those resources get devoted. And you may have less babies, you may have more babies, depending on how that goes. And then also both kind of depend on the network around you. But effectively, those are the 2 strategies. Now, I think one strategy obviously is a little bit more of like the primitive strategy, like when you're in a way less developed area with a way less advanced group of people. That is that's the strategy you're probably more likely to see here. But I think ultimately both, you know, people survive under both conditions, but you know, there's living and then there's surviving, right? There's thriving and then there's surviving. And I think the monogamous family structure is a more of a thriving family structure in that way. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck, especially when you know all the cylinders are firing properly. And then, yeah, you're absolutely right. If the children are scattered, then other men would have to help more. Like they have cultures and societies where that is the norm. You know, they listed a couple of them in the video there, and ultimately that's how it breaks down. There's like a clan network where, like, especially your mother's brothers become like the uncles to all the children. So there's like a pseudo fatherhood, a very communal based fatherhood, really. And then all these family groups probably like live very close to each other, if not under one roof in one way or another. Whereas like with the more nuclear family, you got like, you know, one man, one house, one woman, one family. And then honestly, like now that brings up the whole concept of what we were calling the longhouse before, where you have that more communal living network where like the men are more attached to the women because it's like instead of it being your house with your woman, you live with maybe like your aunts and your sisters or whatever like that, and they have children however they have them, however they feel like. And because you are, you know, an elder and this is your aunt's house and the elder women kind of have to stay here, you know, the men kind of just operate under the women's rule or whatever. That's kind of the longhouse theory. But again, these are like the more primitive, you know, less developed, less advanced kind of human setups and whatnot. But I do think, you know, looking at this whole thing here, I wonder how much the argument about European structures is true. I want to go back to ChatGPT for a minute, y'all. In Africa, have nuclear family pairings been the norm? Short answer, no. Nuclear family pairings have generally not been the dominant norm across most of Africa, at least historically. Extended kin-based family systems have been far more common. Traditional family structures in Africa. Damn, you know, now I'm starting to think that that Jamaican dude from the Breakfast Club video, he was really yearning for the savannah, y'all. That's all that was. He was yearning for the savannah. He had a deep tribal call to the savannah. He didn't even know what it was. Traditional family structures in Africa. Across many African societies, the dominant model has been extended families, which is multiple generations living together or nearby, kinship networks that include grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and clan members, collective child rearing, where responsibility is shared beyond just two parents. Marriage patterns, polygamy, one man, multiple wives was historically common in many regions, west, central parts of East and Southern Africa, which by definition does not fit the nuclear family model. Even in monogamous marriages, couples were usually embedded in larger lineage systems with strong obligations to extended kin. Marriage was often viewed as a union between families or clans. When did nuclear families become more common? Colonial influence, Christian missionary teachings, urbanization and wage labor, modern housing constraints in cities. Oh, damn. You know what? I think we found the answer, y'all. I think we found the goddamn answer, y'all.
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
When did nuclear families become more common? The nuclear family became more visible in parts of Africa due to colonial influence. Let me ask ChatGPT a more provocative question. Would it be fair to say that the nuclear family was imposed on Black people? It can be fair to say that the nuclear family model was imposed on Black people in many contexts, but only with important nuance. Oh, here we go with that nuance shit. Goddamn computer wants to get all nuance with me. Fucking Skynet wants to have nuance and shit. I don't trust when Skynet tries to get all nuanced with me, y'all. I don't believe in this Skynet nuance. It's all ones and zeros when it boils down to it. Skynet is incapable of actual nuance. I don't trust you. But anyway, a clean, honest answer is yes. Structurally imposed in many places, but not universally or in the same way everywhere. Here's the grounded version, where the idea does hold up. In much of the Black diaspora, and especially the Americas and parts of Africa, colonialism disrupted slavery. No, colonialism and slavery disrupted existing family systems. Christianity and colonial law enforced it. I have another question I want to ask. After slavery ended, too much for free. After slavery ended in the US, several overlapping groups helped and pushed formerly enslaved people to adopt legal marriage customs, often with very specific ideas about what proper marriage should look like. Niggas had to learn how to be married. We had to learn how to love these hoes. God damn it. They had to teach us how to love these hoes. Mr. Charlie, could you teach me how to love this hoe better, Mr. Charlie? I want to love these hoes like you love these hoes, Mr. Charlie.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
All right. Let me get back to it. So they had to teach. We was not pair bonding. Shut up. Shut up. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. No. The Freedmen's Bureau, Freedmen's Journal, that's your people, Freedmen. The Freedmen's Bureau, 1865, 1872. This was the single most important institution in formalizing marriage among former slaves. It legalized marriages that had existed informally during slavery, the jumping the broom, cohabitation, etc. Bureau agents actively encouraged and sometimes pressured couples to marry. Oh man, they had to pull a shotgun out on some of these niggas. They had to pull a shotgun out on somebody. Look, you gonna marry Bessie now, all right? Bessie, her stomach all big now, and ain't nobody seeing her running around with nobody else but you there, Toby. All right, now you gonna marry Bessie now, all right? And that's just all it's gonna be to it. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. You got you a home, you got you a shack there. You gonna move Bessie on into this shack, and you gonna just work it out. Now I brought Bessie all along with me here. Now she ain't leaving, so you gonna have to marry this girl. They brought shotguns and made these niggas get married. Oh my God. Let me see. Christian churches, especially Baptist and Methodist, Black churches were central, but their role was mixed. Missionaries, Black and white, taught Christian marriage doctrine. Right? You got to get married under the Christian law. Jesus don't want you out here fornicating now. Can't be fornicated under the eyes of the Lord now. White Jesus is watching. Every time you be out here fornicating, white Jesus can see you now. Don't let white Jesus catch you out here fornicating. They had to teach the slaves how to get married. Oh, man. Oh, man, it's true. It's true. Why is it true? Ooh, white reformer and social scientist. Oh shit. A lot of quote help came with judgment. White reformers framed marriage as a way to quote civilize black people, reduce poverty, impose gender roles. Oh shit. Oh shit, not the white reformers. Oh my God, no.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Nigga, please. Serious. Serious.
They had to teach us how to get married like, you know, Jesus style. None of that nigga shit, jumping the broom don't mean nothing. You got to get married in the church, proper like. Later, sociologists compared black families to white families and labeled deviations as pathological, ignoring history. Many freed people actively wanted legal marriage, they say, to reunite families, protect spouses and children, to claim dignity and recognition after dehumanization. Bottom line, after slavery, marriage customs were promoted through a mix of assistance and coercion. Y'all. I just can't keep getting over how that idea keeps popping up. They had to coerce these niggas. Oh shit, that's crazy work. Marriage wasn't just taught, it was made necessary. We're gonna make you niggas, what's wrong with you niggas? Always running off in the bushes with these girls. Now, listen, gonna make you niggas act right. Gonna get some act right in these niggas. They had to put some act right in these niggas. Oh no. Why, y'all? Why they had to put act right in them like that? This is crazy work. Damn. Apparently the white man has forced y'all to be monogamous, y'all. That's why these hoes mad.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
They really do hate that shit. They like that. This is why they'll tell you like it's just like slavery. It's like being on a plantation. You just want to rule over me like the white man. They really mean that shit. Oh my God. This is deep, y'all. We done hit some deep shit here, man. Deep, deep, dark revelations, y'all. We finding out all kinds of things today. Finding out all kinds of things today.
That the nuclear family is rooted in white supremacy is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. The family is not a made-up social construct. It is a biological design. Men are designed to be compatible with women, as women are designed to be compatible with men.
You guys want to have a quick panel, y'all? I got maybe an hour to kill. I got to get out of here in a minute, though. You guys want to have a quick panel, y'all? Do me a favor, y'all. Support the panel. Support the panel. It might get a little bit risky after this. It might get a little bit dodgy. We were doing good. We were doing real good up until this point. I think I was holding on to my monetization up until this point. Support the panel, y'all. Support the panel. Hit that link. The link is in the chat now. Shout out to Mr. O. I did drop that line, right? You gonna respect me like you do the white man. Don't I tell you that though? Is that not my line? Didn't I not coin that line like years and years and many, many, many moons ago? Didn't I tell you that shit? Dick Dog with the $10. Thank you for the support in the panel, y'all. I don't think whites can fix Africans. Everything you describe requires certain parts of the brain to evolve. Example, just as the ventromedial hypothalamus evolved in the brain to limit eating. You know, the fact that I didn't even stumble over that phrase, I think I've evolved, bro. I think evolution has allowed me to say that phrase without slipping or stumbling or nothing. Shout out to evolution. Evolution is the shit, y'all. You niggas need to evolve, man. This shit is dope.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
And shout out to Dick Dug for supporting the panel, man. Appreciate y'all. Smash that super chat button for me.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! Yeah! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
80
What up,
what's
Hood?
going on, bro?
Not much, brother. I hear you up here talking about love and marriage, love and marriage.
Oh, that was my
Go
shit.
together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother. You can't have one without the other.
That was my show, bro. Al Bundy was ahead of his time. Like, his misery was prophetic in a real sense, bro. You like, niggas didn't really understand what was in the game.
I felt Al on a lot of what he was saying, and no, ma'am, that's real life. That's how dudes be in real life. How niggas be in real life. They be like behind women's backs. They be like, we ain't gonna do this, ain't gonna do that. But the minute Brian walk in the room, these niggas are tripped over themselves.
Hey, man.
Yeah. No, don't date baby mamas. And you find out the nigga with a baby mama.
Yo, let me ask you a question. What do you think about this nuclear family concept? Has the nuclear family been imposed on black folk? Are we a non-nuclear people?
Have they civilized you savages? Yes.
Oh, shit. Damn.
There you go.
Tell me more, man. Tell me more.
To tell you the truth, I like civilization. I like being in a first world country. I like marriage and matrimony. And if it costs me monogamy to have it, I'm willing to do that, depending on who the woman is, right? Let's make sure we're clear here. I'm not just selling out my my options for, saying, a woman who can't produce kids, you know what I'm saying? Who ain't got a fertile womb, you know what I'm saying? A woman, who's too combative. Now, combative I can deal with. I grew up around black women my whole life, so I'm used to fighting them. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, right?
I need a low level of combat. You like, I'm used to a level 8, so any chick below a 5 is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really that easy. Because let's be honest, black guys don't have standards, and the ones of us who do don't have high standards. We got pretty, mediocre to subpar standards, right? We ain't hard to please. We just want things to be in some type of order, not complete chaos and confusion. That's all we really ask. What I'm saying? We ain't asking you, saying that you got to be a dime piece. We ain't asking you to really even submit. Just be easy to get along with. Is it? But that is so hard for black women for some reason. It's probably because they don't really want to be with us. They've always preferred that white man, right? When the white man, when the white man talks marriage, they jump their asses up and getting that. Saying that they start behaving like ladies all the damn sudden.
I was about to say something about that, because you know what? There is a weird phenomenon where they say that the black male interracial marriage rate, like they have a higher divorce rate with white women, but black women have a lower divorce rate with white men than I think they even do with black men. And so it seems like, that marriage domesticated shit. There's like, are you willing to buy the deal more from the white man? Like, you bitches just want to go straight to the plug, basically.
Oh yeah, that's what it's always been. They've just been stuck with us for the last 400 years. And you know what I'm saying? So, it's really internalized with them, because it's, to me, it always spoke more to low self-esteem, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't think you're pretty enough. You don't think you're good enough, but you think that white man is going to bolster your genes with his inferior DNA because you're not getting the top white guys. You're getting the white guys beneath you. So if you make $1 million a year, you might get a white guy makes $50,000 a year, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're a 6 foot blind, if you 6 foot with dynamic DNA, you might get a white guy who's kind of sickly but can walk fast.
You know what? Right now, without even knowing it, y'all. Listen, this is why I do what I do. Lord ADS, without even knowing it, he just, in his own words, confirmed what I have called beta theory. Beta theory ADS is basically like this. The overwhelming vast majority of black female white male pairings that I've noticed are not Chad.
Facts.
They do not get Chad. I almost never see you, like you're almost never gonna get you the Tom Brady championship winning, I'm starred a football team or whatever. Like, no, you're gonna get that guy that has a hard time for the most part.
It kind of mimics what we went through in the 80s with the big white woman. Remember? Because you seen all these brothers out here with these fat white chicks in the 80s, these super fat white chicks who just happen to have maybe a job, maybe a daddy had money or something, right? Was buying her everything, but she ain't look like shit. I mean, she looked god awful. Saying out of shape, obese, all that good jazz, right? But she always had a nigga with her. It's kind of what they're doing now. Well, it's almost like it kind of seems like it's almost like it's like they're following in our footsteps, sort of, kind of, but they're about 50 years behind what we're doing, right? Even with the music, what I'm saying? They feel real 80-ish in the way they kind of, I mean, maybe that's just kind of that level of femininity. Maybe it's just an 80-ish kind of sort of, pseudo masculinity kind of feel to it, right? But it kind of feels like, saying they're doing what we did about 50 years ago, It really does.
We've been hogging the mic. We've been hogging the mic a little bit. Mystery Enigma, what's going on, bro?
What up with you, man? Great topic today.
Yeah. Thank you. I just had to get this off my chest real quick before I ran off to work tonight. But it's monogamy for white people. I gotta ask you the question straight up.
Well, you gotta think. When we talk about white people's past, they come from the Caucasus Mountains. From my understanding, that region is has low resources. So that's why being resourceful is part of their culture. I heard from several. I heard this from pro blacks. They talk about the environment of being in the Caucasus Mountains and they're in the cold and having very low resource. They learn how to just survive off of less. So you can't really have a bunch of women and a bunch of kids in an environment like that, right? And that goes on for centuries.
The white man learn how to make do with just one woman.
Yes, because of his environment. I mean, think about it,
man. I'm gonna stretch her as far as she could go.
Yeah, as far as she can go until you become right on the edge of diminishing returns. That's how far you go with her on that. You don't get to enjoy, a bunch of women and all that jazz. You just gotta find the best one female and then stick with her and just ride it out with her. And because of the low resources, she gonna ride it out with you because where she gonna go? She ain't gonna be out there with the wolves and all that trying to do it her own. Compared to Africa, that's resource rich and you can get it anywhere. I mean, then you can have a bunch of wives or whatever. Depending on the environment and all that.
Oh man, that's crazy when you think about it. The white man learned how to make do with just one woman, and then he just bust out the mountains on horseback and shit, running shit. It's crazy work.
Right.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta focus all your energies on one woman and then make magic happen.
No.
I remember one of these hoteps talk about how the brothers, like that lady was talking about the family structure, where like the mother the woman would have a son and her brother will raise a child. I remember some hoteps talking about that, how that was commonplace in Africa because it ensures that you were raising your bloodline. Like Like that's just how it was and everything. Like, so you out there doing whatever. Even having recently, there was a I don't remember his name, but there was an African that was a superstar or whatever by Africa terms, whatever. And his sister just kept getting pregnant, and he had to take care of it, and they ended up like bankrupting him basically because of all the responsibility they were just putting on him.
She was a
The
village wife.
clan isn't built for Western wealth. You can't be Western wealthy with a clan. That's not, you'll never make it. And I'm going to get to library card holder in just a minute, but I got this video queued up. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get some more takes from you guys.
I want you to listen to this about the nuclear family model, that the male breadwinner nuclear family is not the traditional human family, and that promotion of this myth may have adverse health consequences. Since it's sometimes hard to find research on Google, I'm here to help, and I've got an article just for that. This article from 2021 by Rebecca Sear really sums things up nicely. It's an opinion piece, but a lot of her references connect back to the books that I read and a lot of the research I had to read while in university. She starts off by saying that in the West, the traditional family is widely regarded as the nuclear family, where the husband and wife unit is assumed to be economically autonomous and responsible for raising their children with little help, with an extreme division of labor in which men are solely responsible for breadwinning and women homemaking. But in reality, across most societies, the husband and wife unit is rarely autonomous, but is instead engaged in extensive cooperative relationships with other individuals, particularly other family members. These include extensive help with raising children, and the male breadwinner, female homemaker division of labor is also unusual. While there are often divisions of labor, such as women and men not exactly doing the same thing, she talks about how childcare is not the exclusive preserve of women in most societies, and even more so, productive labor is not the exclusive preserve of men. This is in support of my previous video where I was talking about prior to World War II, women did work. And if you did not work and you stayed at home, that was because you were rich. But other women had to work. So you would either be a nanny, a housekeeper, a dressmaker, a shopkeep, or you would farm. There were other jobs that women did. Not only was the nuclear family heavily subsidized within the 1950s, but there was a lot of messaging that pushed this nuclear family ideal. And it talked about the decline in family values and that mothers were abandoning their children to go out to work, and that eventually this would have catastrophic effects. But the researchers were perplexed when this did not have such negative consequences on a child's well-being.
Holy crap! Geez, I know that was English, but my God, what the hell?
They just never gave these dumb bitches psychology books.
Library card holder, thanks for being patient, bro. First of all, let me ask you a question right off the back. Is monogamy for white people? And welcome to the show, by the way. I don't think you've been up here before.
Nah, I don't think I have either. So peace, though. Appreciate you bringing me up. Yes, I don't think it's for white people. Like I was saying in the super chat, what the singer was trying, what I think he was trying to say, is that black folks. So when you look at slavery, we was breeding slave. You know how we was in slavery. We was making babies, and just everybody sleeping with everybody basically, because that's how they breed slaves. And then you release us into freedom or whatever, Jim Crow and all that, but that promiscuity still is there. And then you say, okay, go be a nuclear family. So you have the behaviors of when we was slaves, of just basically being baby making factories. Then you release black folks. You don't really give them any resources, anything like that. You just release them, and they got to figure it out, and they got to patch all this together. So some are able to create a nuclear family, some aren't. But as you can see nowadays, the dysfunction in our relationships is a byproduct of that. So I could see how someone could say it's a white thing, quote unquote. I do believe that it's not just white folks that can be a nuclear family. It's just a lot of times we look at white folks because they've been able to hold their thing together far as economically, to be able to have a family. But now that they're struggling economically, they're not having babies at a rate that they need to maintain their population because of what's going on with white folks economically as well. So with Black folks suffering economically, it's going to break up the nuclear family and make it seem as if we can't have a nuclear family. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you look at, and I tell people this all the time, like white women just don't look good as Black women. Not to make an excuse, but it's a lot easier to be
speak for yourself, sir.
Debatable.
What's that?
Debatable.
Yeah, speak for yourself, sir.
that white that wait, time out.
You done kicked the hornet's nest, my nigga. You done kicked the hornet's nest. Back away slowly, brother.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny. When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
Wait, I'm confused. What would I miss?
What's crazy is that you already veered off the tracks like 2 minutes ago, but as soon as you went after that white woman, they just came out the woodwork, bro. That's crazy.
Oh no, wait. I mean,
make sure we correct that right quick. Make sure that this ain't on.
Wait, hold before I can say anything. What am I missing?
Let's just keep
we're having a good time. There's no beef.
I'm gonna keep it on
this conversation.
As soon as you said I'm keep it on not as attractive, I already knew this nigga was gonna speak up.
I'm gonna keep it on with what you said before that. When you said that during economic times the nuclear family wasn't gonna happen. American history proves you wrong, sir, because after slavery, like nuclear family was the thing that Black people had a higher rate of nuclear family than white people up until the Great Society Act.
Let's have a conversation about that. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, but look how easy. But why was it able to be broken up that way? Why was it able to
the Great Society Act?
Yeah,
bro.
I think you can agree with policy and whatnot.
That's still an economic thing, though.
Right. We're not in disagreement at all with that.
Yeah.
No, but they were still. But you said during rough economic times, the nuclear family wouldn't happen. But you had over hundreds of years of Black people being in economic low on the economic totem pole, but still maintaining a nuclear family.
Yeah, I think that's a different question, though. See, I think the culture of marriage is kind of like it supersedes poverty. You know, people who want to marry will marry, and then marriage is kind of a vehicle upward out of poverty. But I think, like with the policies and whatnot, they basically broke the culture of marriage that Black folk did have, maybe.
And just right quick,
I'm not saying that either, though, Hood. Go ahead, Library.
No, I just want to say right quick. So you think that white women look better than Black women on the average?
No, ADS is the one who jumped in on that. I was just kind of mediating and laughing at the whole thing.
Do you really want me to say it out loud, sir?
Absolutely.
Yes, white women are the beauty standard throughout the world. So yes, white women do look better than Black women.
I'm not going to go all the way there.
But no, not saying all of them, but we talk about percentages generally, right? Which woman is more preferred? Keisha, who is obese.
Oh shit!
Oh
shit! You made him do it.
Okay.
Or Becky, who weighs about $135, slim, trim, feminine, knows how to submit, has a soft, tender voice of a combative behavior or background.
Okay.
Now I'm realistic.
Okay. So we just talking strictly.
Hold on. Give me 1 second, Mr. O. You got it, Library.
Yeah. So it's two things. So the beauty standard, yes, the European, that is the beauty standard. That's why Black women with the weave and the light skin and or you know all the complexion issues, the camp contacts. I'm with you on that. But walking down the street on a daily basis, you would not find a white woman that you like. Damn, she bad, like you will a Black woman. You would not.
Sir, I'm actually Catholic. I see those every Saturday and or Sunday.
Okay.
You got to go to church.
You live in California?
You got to get right with white Jesus. That's the problem.
You live in California?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, come on, man.
A Catholic in Atlanta, Georgia. Damn, bro, you like a Trillium blood territory.
A Black male Catholic who's actually straight in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a big
nigga cripping in the blood neighborhood, bro. You going hard.
Walking on water.
I want to kick it to Mr. O real quick. I gotta give my man O in this conversation. What's going on, Mr. O? Right off the bat, is monogamy for white people? Yes or no?
Unfortunately, I have to go ahead and say yes. Yeah, I mean that the thing is though, high IQ, good frontal lobe blacks, they see the good cost of benefit ratio of doing nuclear because they want their so-called legacy to live on, despite bitches being habitual baby daddy like Buddy Waters and all the rest of them niggas from back in the days. Someone had brought up, all right, so it's twofold. It's twofold. Now, after slavery, some of these Negro couples, somehow, some way, found a way to stick together during them hard, dark times of Reconstruction, even to the 1920s, which was their first zenith of success. And we already know what happened once when black couples become the zenith of success and white people ain't getting none. They want to go ahead and destroy our shit. Destroy our success, black towns, and all that good stuff. Would y'all believe that Theodore Roosevelt was actually we basically in the same predicament back then as we is now? He was actually mad at the white folks for not actually getting married, not having kids. They were just out here discombobulated, lost, and fucked up. And he seen the black couples actually thriving, success, and even white. See, the thing is, black women, you had it made already about 110 years ago. They don't want to tell y'all about the 1910s because the 1910s, the blacks was really showboating around here, doing our businesses, walking around with fur coats, nice cars, and all that other bullshit. They had a lot of black women staying at home, just being wives and just being taken care of and provided for by their black husbands, and they couldn't have that. If the white man can do that for their woman, they was like, nah, we just can't have that. So they stopped burning down our city, stopped make us go broke. That's why we had a Great Depression. Then we had World War II. Everybody started getting this money again, and now the white people start taking over the so-called monogamous relationships because they said, oh, blacks, they through, you know what I'm saying? Even though we was still holding on together by 1960s, we was finito. And you see what we at right now, 60 plus years later.
We got another guest on the panel. Welcome, Angry Snowman. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. How about you, Hood?
Doing great, man. So, do you own monogamy as the one white guest on the panel? Does this shit belong to you or not?
I think all things that benefit society and help push it forward belong to white people.
Fuck you.
Wow, yeah, I was gonna say, you think it belongs to white people?
That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. I'm leaning into it.
Hell, look at Snowman. Snowman been with the same woman almost 25 years.
I mean, hey.
Look, all I'm going to say is the Smithsonian does not disagree with me. They have a thing that says what is whiteness, and everything that benefits and pushes society along it belongs to white people.
You know what's so funny? When I was researching things for this topic, that literally popped up in one of my searches. Like I wasn't even looking for that.
I bet it did.
I typed in white nuclear family. I typed in white nuclear family, and that Smithsonian chart popped up, and I'm like, damn.
I bet it did. I can't. You type in being on time for work, having any kind of work ethic,
You know what's so funny?
Any of these things that'll actually benefit you and help you prosper in life are all considered white owned or white adjacent. So yes, we own everything. We own everything that benefits society.
But what's crazy is that also with all that. I just want to say with all that, all that you got progress and everything you're going over, but y'all still gave women the right to vote.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to own that too.
Not as much. I mean, let's be honest.
It all.
No, give me a second.
Nah, dude, those were all white guys that have been bamboozled by the black woman.
No, but white guys nonetheless.
That's what I hate about your panel.
Wait. We got to have a little order. We got to have a little order. We're going to have some order. ADS, you got it next. Let me just say one thing real quick. Actually, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. ADS, you got the mic. I want to just have some clear space for a minute. You got it.
White people they didn't really have most of this shit out here. What happened is they're the biggest opportunists. And since they are really good at capitalizing on opportunities, they tend to benefit from everything. That's the real truth about white people. Y'all the biggest opportunists.
Yep.
You know what? I was gonna say this, right? Everything Snowman is using, he's actually quoting a bunch of black college educated intellectual professionals, because this is from the Black Smithsonian part of the it's like the black part of the Smithsonian. So he's quoting black people about how great white people are. The irony is thick here.
That's exactly what I'm doing, sir. But you already knew that.
So monogamy is for white people. How about that? I got a question from the panel. I've been holding up on the screen here. Only question I have for the panel is this forced monogamy considered colonization?
Yes, and we all need to be colonized. To the credit of the white man, he figured it out before we did. If we was all colonized right now, we'd all speak the same language. We've had lower crime rates, lower unemployment rates, less STDs, less STIs, less kids out of marriage, and a happier, more productive society.
Just look at what forced integration did, man. Look, and that'll give you your answer.
Like I said, they also gave women the right to vote.
Are we considering that a form of colonization? Yes or no, though?
Yes, I do believe so. I definitely say yes to that.
What do you mean by forced monogamy? How explain forced monogamy?
Imposing punishments and strictures against people who don't, properly
I'm
behave.
here. I can answer that question.
What's going on, Bandit? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome, panel. What I mean by forced monogamy is, there's the church that forces it. There's society that shames. Look at Florida. They actually, one guy's trying to have the 50% tax on OnlyFans. Like, it's coming back. I don't see anybody else trying to get a monogamy back, trying to get people off OnlyFans. Just saying.
Shout out to the white man for trying to end OnlyFans. His name is James Fishback, by the way. That was James Fishback. Yeah, he's running.
Leave it to the white man. Leave it to the white man to get rid of all the things Negroes love.
He's trying to ban hoes, y'all.
Leave it to the white man to give all the things that Negroes love.
It's actually not that. I think that
he's trying to make hoes poor. Like, literally, he's 50% taxing them. He's basically like the number one pimp. If you think about it, he's taxing them at 50%.
He's making hoes affordable again.
Make hoes affordable again.
That's actually an excellent idea, believe it or not. I think sometimes we don't give our counterparts enough credit where it's due in some cases. They entered affirmative action, they cut out deletions, and now they're working their way onto these platforms, so these women are getting free money. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of ingenious when it comes to strategy, especially long term. I just wish that black people could have figured it out. That'd be great.
Hey, Snowman,
you wish black people would figure out.
The problem is black people care too much what they mama think about things.
Hey, Snowman, I'm not gonna let you get away with that, man.
Let me get away with what? True hype? The truth?
The truth ain't that black men are on OnlyFans. We know what demographic is on OnlyFans. The buyers and the users. It ain't a bunch of black folks now.
I don't know. Listen, I saw a map of OnlyFans usage spread out across the country, like OnlyFans usage, I guess is the right word. And it's a lot of southern areas, bro.
Yeah, but who's spending the most money on there?
In Atlanta,
it's like married white dudes.
Married white dudes.
No. There's a staggering statistic out, right? When it comes to Atlanta strip clubs, at one point before OnlyFans came into the picture, we're talking 2017, it was almost like, what was it, a $500-600 million business, right? Just with the strip clubs in Atlanta and what they were making. When OnlyFans came on board, that went down to about, I think what it was a little under $100 million. And after, the pandemic, and now I think it's like still under a little $100 million from the strip club business, right? So you got to think about all these chicks are going someplace and spending this money because the money ain't stopped flowing.
Well, they got a bunch of like.
All I'm saying is that niggas are some of the biggest tricks in the game. Don't get it twisted, man.
Look.
Where do you think that money go? Why do you think there's no generational wealth, bro?
I'm not going to disagree with you there, right? But let's not act like OnlyFans is where the black folks went. It's a different culture on that site versus like either online or Backpage. Remember that?
True.
We can own that because I know a bunch of dudes on Backpage, man. And I was like, yo, what is this?
That's my point, though. Dudes spend that money. Dudes are some big ass tricks. So I don't really like to just totally like one shot that kind of analysis where it's like it's only the white guys. Like, nah, bro, niggas be putting money in the game, bro.
And what's wrong with being a pig?
But the difference between OnlyFans and like back pages with the white guys are paid a consistent whatever fee. Where brothers want the real thing. See, white guys are cool with just getting a little flash or whatever OnlyFans consists of. Brothers want more so the real thing, so they'll go to back pages.
Niggas try to book a day.
Hey, Hood. What's that called, Hood? What's that called, Hood? Give me my credit.
That's tricking.
But wait. What you call it? Brothers, hold on. I get that's tricking, but I'm talking about the amount of money that's going to be spent. You're going to spend more money with that consistent membership on OnlyFans than you would tricking every now and then on Backpage.
Yep.
That's what I'm
tricking
saying.
Of the fourth kind. That's why I call tricking of the fourth kind.
Yeah, these dudes paying for girlfriend experience and stuff, man. That's also a cultural thing.
Well, no, the girlfriend.
Also, y'all have to understand statistically, anytime there's general admission, black men are not going to be the leading force. Like if you have anything that's male centered and it's open to a general male population, we're not going to be the forefront of any of that. We're always going to be a minority.
All I know is monogamy is for white people and herpes is for black people.
Yes.
Oh wow. You really gonna do that?
You about to get kicked, goddamn it!
You really gonna do that?
I'm about to put a bounty up for you.
Hey, quick question. Because we decided that monogamy is colonization, does that mean when black women go and start saying that I deserve to be on OnlyFans and deserve to be sleeping with many guys as possible, it's a black thing? Like, I'm just trying to understand this.
I mean, this is
because they're going to be a minority.
This is the uncomfortable thing that we've discovered. Promiscuity is more base human nature, and so you might have to impose some kind of civilized behaviors on people, and I think that just might be what it is. Without the imposition of civilization, some people will revert to type.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is I think in the next couple of years we're going to start seeing that, marriage is a white person thing, and we should be against it because it's a white man thing. It's not.
We've already been seeing that, which is part of the reason why I brought this whole topic up.
So there's been a lot of talk about the nuclear family and how, most especially in the black community, we need to go back to that. But the nuclear family is actually just white supremacy in disguise.
We are doomed, bro. If you're a black man dating black women,
Africans
you are so
and
rude,
us African Americans, the descendant of Africans, we did not live in a nuclear family, which is a mother, a father, and the children. We had extended.
What the fuck
families,
is up with them big ass black
saying
caterpillar
it takes a
eyebrow?
village to raise a child. That's our term, because that is the way that we lived. Even throughout slavery, we had to survive with the extended family. A lot of times, people were, sold off or unalived and everything. So we had to keep it together. And the nuclear family is what tore us apart.
Oh, the nuclear family tore us apart. Wow.
This is asinine, man. Like, look, extended family and like the multi-generational family. It doesn't take away from the nuclear family. To think otherwise is to be idiotic. Look at places like Italy.
I don't think it's the family part that bothers these bitches. It's the nuclear part of the word, because nuclear means atomic bomb, and the white man.
Hold on, guys. Bandit, I hear you trying to get in there.
No, I was just saying, like, so This girl is so dumb. She's basically saying that if we're against nuclear families, so that means the default is harems. Like, do you want multiple women for this? Like, are you Mormon now? Like, I'm just trying to understand. Like,
I hate to say it out loud, but as a black man, if you understand what you're seeing there, you really get it. I think a lot of these women just want to be concubines.
Something like that. Harems tend to be a base default.
Hey, Lord of the Flies, man. Straight up.
I know.
What do you think happens? What do you think happens when it becomes like a more tournament style mating system? Right, to the winner goes the spoils.
She wants it both ways. She wants the access to the big man and the resources of the little man. She wants the stepdaddyism.
Which is like basically having a hive around her. You know, the matriarchal system is a hive.
Hey, Hood was on a kick before, like, you know, for a couple months playing the shook ones, and I will quote, "Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks." Like halfway is the worst place to be. Like in the middle, they want to take credit for both or take part in both, and if you try to take both, you get none. That's just how it works.
All the way is white supremacy, though.
But that's where they want to play. They want to win where they want to win in the space that's unwinnable. They want to be the one. I did it.
If you're a black man in 2026 and you want a monogamous relationship with a black woman, you are so screwed, bro. You are screwed. These women they've been indoctrinated so bad to be the white woman's lapdog in feminism. I mean, you talk about over entitled, like feminist whore behavior. I mean, can we do a swap with the Venezuelan women? We'll give you these black women if you give us them. These nice little Latin women who cute, who ain't been westernized so badly to the point where saying their brains are ruined. Because this ain't gonna last just this year, next year. This is gonna last 10, 15, 20 years down the road. They still gonna be talking the same bullshit. And what's gonna happen is if we gonna pass away, and very few of us gonna have legacies out here. Because at the end of the day, these women ain't gonna want to procreate with us. They're gonna want to procreate with everybody else but us because they hate us so much that they willing to enslave us as black men. Get them, send their asses someplace else, please. Let's get something else up in this.
I agree with ADS.
Hey, you know what? As a white guy, we'll go ahead and give you this mulligan. That way you can have a do-over. But these bitches fall out of line again. You're leaving with them next time.
No, fair enough. I'll take it.
Hold on. I got it. I want to get Andre at the panel real quick because we're gonna wind this down in a minute. What's going on, Andre? Mic check. Andre, you there? Andre, unmute. There you go.
Yeah. So, first of all,
real quick. First off, it's monogamy for white people. I'm asking everybody.
Yeah. That's where I'm coming from. So first off, like I'm not gonna hold this Canadian L because as you showed that dude. He's actually an R&B singer. That's what I mentioned in your chat. That's part of why I stopped listening to it because these niggas are simps, especially the Canadian ones. They're fucking simps. So, and he mentioned that like his parents were married and shit. So like, as you said, like he's saying the same shit that you're trying to say, but he just never had the right term. Like he never had like the right terminology and shit to say. Because he actually said that like women shouldn't have rights. But he was going about it the wrong way. And
well, respectfully, there's not really a right way to tell a woman she don't deserve rights.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, finish it though. Finish it though.
Your mistake was telling. That's the problem.
Sorry, what was that?
Your mistake is telling them. Like, have we seen enough videos? You just take. Like, I don't understand what the problem is here. Like, where's your balls? Like,
Yeah, it's like I don't even ask my wife. I don't even ask my wife to get laid anymore. I just go out there, grab her by the arm, and drag her into the bedroom like a fucking caveman does.
Yeah, that's like a stupid argument to make because, like, well, it's just a stupid argument to make because it's like he literally said his parents are married and they're still married, right? So I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's in his 30s or some shit. Yeah,
my mom and dad
exactly.
been together 50 years. And my mama told me when I was 13 years old and I got my heart broke by a chick named Tracy. She said, you need to start treating every woman like she me. Because they not me. I'm me, they them. You know what I'm saying? These women are separate instances of themselves, right? They are who they are. Said so. Stop. You know, what I'm saying treating them with such gloves or kid gloves, like you know, what I'm saying like every you know, what I'm saying like every time they make a mistake, you know, what I'm saying you got to forgive them because you don't. She's like, she ain't me. Me and your dad have been together since before you was born. Said this woman here, you just met her, no saying 3 or 4 months ago. Get rid of her now.
Shout out to women that used to give the true skinny. Like you had female family members and all that stuff. They wouldn't sacrifice you to the altar back in the day. As a matter of fact, they even get busy for you, man. You get call up a couple female cousins. If she got out too far out of line, they give her some get back. Man, where'd that go?
Oh, that shit died in the 80s, bro. With Oprah
Women
show,
are
all that girl power, all that empowerment shit. Your female relatives throw you on the bus ever since the mid 80s.
Yeah, when the sisterhood became philosophically fat,
Yep.
when they stopped being sufferable, right? When they stop accepting the suffering, right? Like you have to. That's why we use toward them that she's unsufferable, and not towards us. It's when they got to the point where they think life should be just all feel goods and no downturns, no suffering whatsoever. You don't have to sacrifice anything. That's when you had that penetrated the collective mind. That's when we start having that where females won't chastise or correct other females because it's mean. Making us suffer.
Another
Like
pivotal
part of why
point. Another pivotal
just
point when
yeah.
these black women started book club, ring bell hooks to each other, and that's when it started right there. So when they started ring bell hooks with each other, that's when they start throwing black men under the bus. But I pass the mic.
Wait, Carmen. Like I gotta address Carmen in the chat. No, I don't want a squad of fighting women. I'm just saying,
Yes,
like,
you do. We all
no,
do.
no. If she got out of line and did something like where obviously in polite society was just kind of completely uncalled for, like she violating, like, hey, like people get hands put on them, right?
No,
And there's certain instances.
I won't even go that far. I Mr. Dave, you can just tell a brother to shut up. God, you talk too much. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Or you could just disappear and reappear, right?
You know it's
what I'm saying?
crazy, ADS? I tell my
Yeah.
wife to shut up and she gets mad and shuts up.
That's a good woman right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
you
mean,
be,
just that little stuff. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like hearing today. Or you getting on my nerves, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear this tonight. You know what I'm saying? Go do something else. Go to your mama house. Go to your mama house. Please go to your mama house. I miss the days where you could say that and not get a charge.
oh yeah, because the first person calling, man, going away.
In my little section of Tennessee, it used to be a time where you can go get a DV charge, go to court, and the judge will understand your position. He'd be like, "Oh, you need that? Sound like a whooping to me. Case dismissed. You just go on. You go on about your business. Because he knew he had to deal with it. He knew he had to put hands on his wife to get her in line. So he had that understanding that when you sit before him, it is already agreed upon."
So part of why I hopped up is like somebody mentioned that syntax. I have seen that going around social media that there is some politician in the U.S. talking about they want to impose syntax. Like, I don't mind if you tax them OnlyFans bitches, go ahead. But it's like, if you're gonna do it to the dudes, then that's where I have the problem with, because you could tax them because like they're making a killing and like they ain't paying shit. Right.
If you want to shut down,
that's perfectly fine. But like if you're gonna impose like that onto the men, that's pretty much a bachelor tax.
If you want to shut down OnlyFans, legalize sex work. Just make it legal. They'll shut all that shit down.
It already is legal.
No, it's not. That's up online.
It's legal in California.
Yes.
You're in California. Yeah.
You guys have it's a local thing. Your local government has to legalize it. Like they have it in the counties outside of Las Vegas, where they have prostitution that's legal. So you need to talk to your local government about legalizing prostitution.
Well, really, just Reno.
Oh, you guys, you have to look at it this way. You have to pass the law for the taxes first before you can make it legal. So, for example, like if they're though I forget the actress's name, but it's Joyce somebody. She made like $43 million last year on OnlyFans. So her tax in Florida, because Florida houses 80% of all the OnlyFans out there. It's such a large percentage are in Florida that she would be taxed. Just her is over $20 million just for her, and that's how they're paying the teachers in Florida is with this OnlyFans sin tax.
Oh, come on.
There's a whole video on it. I know it, but my whole point is this: if you're going to legalize it, you have to find a way to tax it first before you can legalize it. It's like step one. How's the government making money on it first, and then we can legalize it?
It needs to be heavily regulated, like in Europe, where they have specifically like a red light district. That way, it's not like in California and those places where they're like outside of schools soliciting. It's crazy.
Oh, that's easy. You make it like the DMV where you have to buy a city and county sticker. You know, you get your health check, and then you pay a fee to get the sticker to say, hey, this chick's all right.
To be honest with you, I think they're trying to get rid of the OnlyFans stuff. Is because in 3 years it's all going to be AI anyway, so that's why they're trying to tax it. It's just gonna be another AI tax.
Well, what I've learned about like the whole OnlyFans thing is like for the most part, for like while it was popping for the first few years, it's like the women weren't paying any taxes on it at all since it was all through Cash App. I heard it was only like it was only recently from like the last year or so where they actually started looking at their Cash App accounts and stuff to see like the money they received over there.
Well, OnlyFans started reporting because so many women weren't reporting their monies.
Exactly,
and then
that's what I'm talking
about. They start hitting them with the back taxes, and a lot of these women that spent the money up already.
Exactly. So I'm not talking about trying to like, be mad at a bitch for fucking making money doing some shit like that, but if you are making money, like you should be paying into the system that you're involved with, is all I'm saying.
It's half the reason why Venmo and stuff, they tax you on anything over $600 because they were trying to go after OnlyFans.
Yeah, that was a value thing because even before then, around like 2010, e-commerce was avoiding a lot of taxes because the regulation haven't kicked in yet for the taxes upon e-commerce goods. So it just takes if it gets big enough, the government will eventually see it and start getting their cut.
Also, too,
they need to have clear definition of what a quote unquote gift is, because a donation can be considered a gift. So what do you consider a gift and what do you consider actually, work, like tit for tat, literally tit for tat? Because it's like, if it's considered a gift, I mean, that means any donation for that you do on a live stream could be considered tit for tat, and that would be taxable income too.
Well, it's under a different class though, because if you just give somebody what I think the limit's 500, like normally, that's one thing. But if say Hood here sets up shop on YouTube, it's a different class.
I know,
but also with the OnlyFans, you're paying for gated content, so it's not. So if you're giving the money to get access to something, that's not a gift.
Yeah,
that's a transaction.
The act of having a conversation is considered content. Like talking about a topic is content. So like that's where it gets kind of blurry. Like if you talk about anything, that's considered content. I'm giving you a service of giving you content, and you're paying me in donations.
You know what the wildest thing about this whole like OnlyFans thing is, and like the chat girls and all that? It like a lot of this stuff, like the chatting and all the back end stuff, gets outsourced, and some dude in India talking to some dude.
Yeah.
Hey, you see what Andrew Tate was doing?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro! Don't remind me. That was ugly. Man, I was like so disappointed when I found that Andrew was doing that. But there are like countries out there who have blueprints for this, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't even look at in America, right? Like Germany, the Netherlands, Australia, they legalized both, and what they found was simply this, right? That the OnlyFans platform, women start treating it like a job, but they weren't making millions of dollars. It was more like a 9 to 5 for most of them, versus the other part of the industry, sex work, was actually thriving and booming, like super systematically at this point. So, I mean, that's how if you really want to stop like that type of money, that's how you do it.
I would disagree with you because what I've seen is that for the most part, like them chicks on OnlyFans, they treat it like they could just post a picture or two, and they just expect money just to just keep flowing for no reason.
Yeah.
And for the most part,
True.
like the chicks that are actually making a killing, like they have men behind them.
Yeah.
They're managers.
Outsource. They're working with agencies.
Yeah, like doing their advertising and all that kind of stuff.
There's a term you should look up. It's called triage. It's where it's the people that always make money in any transaction is the person that puts a buyer to a seller. That is triage. Any person that can make a business model with triage is going to make a bank. It's always the case. It's done through history. So if you can find a way to meet a buyer and a seller together and take a commission off that, it's free money. It might as well
Like
just printing
like
press.
what is it? There's my bad, Bandit. I thought you were done. There's a movie, right? It's actually pretty good. The dude that played Harvey Specter in Suits is one of the main characters, called Middleman, and it's like a funny version of that, whatever. But talks about the dudes that set up the original credit card processing for the adult sites and how much money they were making. And it is amazing how much money the middlemen make, in like all industries, right? Even the gold rush back in the day, when all those people were going out west, people made more money selling shovels.
Yeah, it's because this is why triage works. Okay, so when you meet a buyer and a seller together, when you first start off, it's very expensive because it's all new. But as you get more experience with it, you can scale it, and once you can scale that, it's basically just printing money. That's why Amazon's the best business out there, because once you get the servers there, they don't have to do anything. They're just literally printing money. They're taking a commission, taking like 1% of all the sales, and they're getting it from the buyer, the seller, and from the postal service. So they're just printing money, and that's my whole point. These guys just realize, I'll just be in the background. You can take all the glory. I'm just going to take all the freaking money. That's that's literally what's happening here. And it's, I take the morality out of it. That's smart business sense. Like, anybody that does business will tell you, you can find a way to do triage, you're going to make a killing.
You know what's funny, man? If I didn't have any morals about myself, like I probably would have like this chick that I knew introduced me to some cat and was trying to get me into that industry, like back in the early 2000s, and I was just like, nah, man, I can't do that. And I was like, damn, man, if I didn't have no scruples, man, I don't know, I could have went out like Scarface, man.
Yeah. This is why, like, people that do like drop ships selling and stuff, they always make a killing. If once they realize the game, they can make a killing doing it, and you can make some serious money doing it. It's just using triage. That's why I was like, any advice you give anybody, and I'll drop. If you can find a business, take that opportunity, take it now, and especially if you're the first one in, you're gonna make a killing.
I wasn't trying to change the topic into that,
Yeah.
but somebody mentioned the syntax. That's the only reason why I was speaking about that.
Yeah.
But like it's different over here. Like for Canada, like it's legal nationwide for prostitution and all that kind of stuff, But the thing is, it's legal for the women, but it's illegal for the men.
Yeah, that which is crazy, man.
And I heard in the U.S. that like it's the same way for a few states.
Yeah, pretty well. What they did is they decriminalized it on the women's side because they wanted to make it safer for the women. But what they've actually done is made like a hyper version of an underground market, and the women are less safe. They make less money, and like they're just out more places. Like SB 357 that's in California now that Gavin Newsom just signed. They can actually solicit anywhere now openly. So it's going to explode even more.
Yeah, I believe it was like also in New York as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but like that's part of why I disagree with the syntax thing, because it's like you're still demonizing the men, meanwhile the women are benefiting from it.
I'm not sure to agree, but a whole nother level is that it is illegal, but it's not enforced on the female side. They don't really enforce the books. It's technically illegal, but they only put the charges on the Johns.
Yeah,
unless
but
the
mystery. This new bill though, it's like they can't even write them a ticket no more. They're not even gonna tell them to move. They're just gonna be like, hey, they would like it if you would like leave, and then the cops will go away.
Well, California, we know, is just successful. We're wait for the San Andreas Fault to make it an island. You know what I mean? Like every bad decision comes from Europe, and then eventually goes to California.
Look, I could possibly deal with the fact that like, hey, there's some dirt going on. Hey, make sure it's over there, far away from where I live, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Turn the other way, kind of deal. Yeah, we don't like it, but that's where it goes on over there, where nobody is. But man, like these cats doing this stuff for, like in schools and all this stuff. That's not good for society at all.
Now, you gentlemen are aware that prostitution was legal here in America initially, right? And the women got out and they ruined that because all these married men were creeping off all the time. Same thing with coke. Remember, cocaine back in the 1920s, perfectly legal until a bunch of white broads got knocked up. So, I mean, ain't like we've never done this before.
ADS. Hey, you forgot one part. It was the so-called modern girl of yesteryear that put prostitutes out of business too. So the prostitutes messing around with married women, messing around with their husbands, with the so-called dating girls, in which dating came from. These chicks have basically made it into a whole crazy place that we in now because saying there's too many bras. One trying to sell it, the other one trying to get away for free, and the one at home is basically in all the misery.
And my other issue that I have with the sin tax is that they technically already have an indirect bachelor tax, and the reason why I say it's indirect, the reason why I say it's indirect because they give tax credits to single mothers and shit like that, right? Which obviously single dudes ain't going to be able to receive since they don't have children.
But I'm just they're going to if they're going to tax the women on the John's money that are getting it, does that mean that I'm I'm just trying to think here. If you independent contract, I mean, you can write off that John money, so it could be a tax write off for the guy.
Yeah, but
Mr. O, guess who wins back in the 1920s? The man wins all the way around because you've got multiple options and multiple ways. You've got leverage in that particular society. Versus nowadays, that's one of the biggest issues about being a man with prominence. You have no leverage. You've got to put up with whatever deal this woman offers you, and you've got to eat it. Versus back then, you have multiple ways of getting what you needed. There's a difference.
Well, I think they're slightly above average, man.
Like clarify that. What do you mean by whatever deal? You have to take whatever deal is offered to you. What do you mean by that?
Basically,
in what context?
This is the funny thing about 2026, where men are traditionally known as we're far more into dealing with multiple women, right? Because man has seed, we spread seed. Women are the one with the orifices, right? In 2026, men shame men. There's too much dick policing going on around here.
Well, I mean, the men are henpecked.
Stuff to add into that, you got all this other stuff, including saying if you can be sued now for so much stuff, anything can happen to you if you just out of pure revenge and spite.
I hate to break this up, guys. I stepped away for a minute.
You forgot about STDs.
I stepped away for a minute. I was listening. I don't think Freedom's Journal. Did you get in here yet? Because I don't think I heard your voice at all.
Go ahead.
No, not yet. You want to ask your question?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you: is monogamy for white people?
I think I would be the embodiment of a no. I think that no, it's simply cultural, right? If black people didn't fall for the communist remake in the civil rights era, it'd be a whole different world. So,
I mean, to that end, I think it's also part of just like the norm of Western culture. If you want to function in this culture, that's kind of a part of the deal.
Yep. I mean, it's just it is what it is. If it was just quote air quotes white culture, then they wouldn't be getting beat by Asians and Indians.
Yeah, my whole
And
thing, just
Freeman's, I'm sorry to interrupt your flow, because I know you came up for like the whole monogamy talk, and like what I mentioned from the beginning is like that dude that was speaking on it, like his parents are still married to this day. So what is he talking about?
It's he codes as liberal, right? Because he comes from a good environment and is unsuccessful, right? He also said, "Oh, I've been dedicated to art." That means he's poor, right? He is poor, unaccomplished, but has a foundation from which to actually be successful. So that's why he's got that inferiority complex. Because I'm sure a lot of kids in his neighborhood ended up being at least in the same socioeconomic strata or above, right? While he is a starving artist.
Well, I didn't like actually realize who that dude was. Like he is actually a popular artist. Like his video, like his music, like he got like 400 million views and shit on his shit. So he's actually a popular artist. I didn't realize that was that dude.
That
So
that may not
Well,
translate into wealth.
I
I
think
mean,
what it is that he is an
400
artist.
million. I need 400 million views translated into a 1040.
Yeah, like a lot of times that doesn't translate to wealth.
Well, he's an artist, right? And so the artsy people have to be, they have to book structure and all that stuff. So his supporting arguments came across to me is that he don't like structure, right? Like he said, he'll buy his girl things because he sees it and he thinks she'll like it. He'll buy it, but he don't like doing it because it's her birthday. That's a structure issue. He was talking about how if he was a working man and then he comes home to this, and Hood made the example. He came home to macaroni and cheese again. He don't like that. That's a structure issue. He don't like the repetition of structure.
I'm actually kind of surprised because like that dude specifically, like I've listened to his music before, like obviously with chicks, and it has helped me out. I'll say that, but I'm kind of surprised that he's taking this stance because the music that you make, like you're promoting the opposite of what you're speaking about.
Yeah, but it's all part of the hypnotization or whatever that we've all had some bit about. Until you realize what the messages behind the music or actually ask the questions, you might operate like an NPC, like a lot of people do. I mean, like look at all these R&B, dudes catching L's, man.
I think
But also that you got to understand that there's a difference between commercial music only has one goal, and that's to sell, right? Beyonce is the same way. Beyonce preach all this other stuff in her music and lives a totally different lifestyle. When it comes to like when you get to that level, that widespread level, it's all about sales. There's no integrity there. There's no I live these lyrics, at that point. So
it's all propaganda. I mean, to be mainstream, it's not hard to have a $2,500 laptop and make your own music now. Like it's very affordable to make your own music and produce your own stuff. If you want 400,000 or 400 million views, you're gonna have to basically sell out your soul and be a propagandist. And that's what it is. Music isn't what you think it is. This isn't the 1970s. I mean, it's basically the 1970s. This is the music we're going to sell, and if you want the views, here's the list of topics to talk about. I mean, most musicians, and I know I got a couple famous musicians in my family. Most of them, it just comes down to if you want to get the record sale, you're going to have to talk about these things. It's not what it seems. It's You basically are playing a part in a big propaganda wing. So you either going to take the L, or you're not going to be famous. That's what it really comes down to.
A lot of people in that industry, like because I have some background in creative side, but more film, TV stuff. They're gonna take the deal or whatever because it's almost an easier route because like it's hard to like build the thing yourself, and you see that across like YouTube's with some of these legacy YouTubers and all this stuff, how they built the thing, either got kind of audience captured or whatever, and then just like the money's good, so they stop being themselves and just like give the audience whatever they want. And it's no different on this side as well.
Well, it comes down to like, look at the venues. There's only two companies. It's Live Nation and I always forget the second one. There's like two companies that own all the venues in the country. And if you want access to the venues, you're going to have to work through a label. And if you work through a label, now they control you. So it's basically like, pay the mafia. And then if you want the mafia's terms, here's our list of terms. It's 20%. Here's the topics you're going to talk about, and that's it. And if you don't want to play the game, there's 50 million people behind you that want access. So, push up or shut up. That's
Well,
what it is.
that's probably part of the brainwashing too, though, Bandit, right?
Yeah.
Like to quote unquote go to the established thing, like to the thing that's like higher than you, if you will.
Well, it's music's trend setting. So it's you find the trend and then you basically hook. Ever see the movie The Wonders, or what the Oneaters, as they like to say? But it goes through having a hit, and it goes like you want to make a trend and then basically milk that trend as much as you can, and then once the firecracker is over, you're disposable. That's basically what most of the music is, because you only get like, unless you're a famous band, which there isn't many of them anymore. It's basically you have a couple big hits, and you just got to ride that wave and get as much money as you can, because that's all you got. So,
Well, I mean, they're also not built to last, because like there's no
that's by
substance.
design.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, by design.
Yeah, the labels went away from talent development. It's basically you have to. The only thing I'll add is that you have to capture an audience before you can go off the beaten path, right? Like you had people like even like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar was still close to like what you expect for West Coast music until he started venturing off into like country rap and everything else. It's how you capture that audience. That'll stick with you and stay with you, because it
What's
is
fun?
hard on those.
What my bad, mystery. Like what's funny is though it's easier to do that now, especially if you have something. And a lot of the artists or whatever, right? They would start building an audience, and then the label would come. I have talked to people in the music industry because, like, I live close enough to Nashville, right? So I've talked to people that talk to CEOs and all that stuff because all that consolidation happened with all the music groups and all that stuff. And there's a bunch of like record deals, and I've been at like bonfires where this person like is basically like the do person for some CEO, like big wig CEO. They have no clue what's going on. They'll tell you if you actually pull them to the side or whatever, and it's like informal and they kind of trust you. They'll tell you that too. They have no clue, man. But the people will build up like an audience, and then basically sell their audience to like this cat for slavery, basically, because it's like a debt deal. They give you a loan that you gotta pay back with crazy interest.
Right. But the people who survive all that are the ones who took time to build an audience. Like back in the Lil Wayne mixtape days, that's what he was doing. He was a de facto content creator at that time. Pushing out all those songs, and then all the other. I know rap music the best. So everybody else who followed that model, like Young Jeezy, Juicy J from time to time, those cats who do that follow that same path. That's what they work with. They build an audience and they leverage that into a bigger deal, and then use that to survive, longer than a one hit wonder, whatever. Or even then, back then, when back like in 2000, 2010, record, it seemed like record labels was giving deals to just anybody in the South, but the ones who stayed on followed the content plan to survive beyond that.
Well, I think Hood played it a while ago, right? There was like this one young chick. She was talking about how she was gonna have to start her OnlyFans because she couldn't afford to do her music thing. And I'm like, damn man, just work a job. Work a job like everybody else did. And then get your music off.
Nah, they gotta flex, bro. It's not, you can't flex at a McDonald's drive through, bro.
Normality is not normal.
No, normality is not sexy.
Normality is boring.
Exactly.
Normality is good. Mundane is good. Boring is good. It is safe. A
Yes.
boring life is a safe life. And a lot of people overlook that. Mundane is what you do every day in your routines, right? Guess what those routines build upon? Precepts. Precepts build upon agendas, goals, and accomplishments. People just don't have the patience to stick with that type of stuff, man. They
And
just
then
don't.
You know what? You know, the tie back to the art to the Breakfast Club interview. It's mediocrity. People don't want mediocrity. The nuclear family is mediocrity, and that's just an
um
issue.
well
I
they, they
disagree with that.
they may see it as that, but it's not because they want this extravagant stuff. They want all this exciting stuff, but they end up going like under what they actually have. At least ones that come from the two parent background, they end up
Right,
worse
because
off than where they started.
right, because that's what he grew up in. Right, he grew up in a two parent household, so he feels like that nuclear family structure is mediocre, and he don't want to be mediocre as an artist. He wants to shine. He wants
Yeah,
spread his
he don't want to be
wings.
born like his father with only one chick. He want multiple chicks. That's why he can't do it.
Exactly.
Probably had a detached father and a mean mother.
I mean, let's have a discussion about that word mediocrity because that's just only thing it really means is ordinary or average quality. I don't see anything wrong with ordinary or average quality. Okay, I don't expect everything to be over the top. Sometimes things just being average or ordinary to me is a good thing, right? That's one less thing I got to deal with.
Not with
Versus,
black people, ADS. Not with
No,
black
no,
people.
But ADS, you're a
mediocre.
you're a mature mind. You're I'm assuming that you are experienced man. You're a man that's over the age of 30. So you have travels and you come to reason with mediocrity. I know when in my 20s I didn't want to be mediocre either. I mean that's just the rebellious spirit of young people is that we don't want mediocre. But then I didn't want to be extremely like I don't want $1 million. I didn't think I needed $1 million or something like that. But you did want more than just the mediocre stuff.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I'll travel all over the world, man. Been so many different spots and places, right? In my 20s, like you were saying, I wasn't even in America, bro. I was in every place else, right? So when my 30s hit, because I was married in my 20s, so I was about 35, 36 years old for about a decade. So once marriage hit, like you're saying, at one point, I enjoyed the excitement, the trauma, the fun, all that good jazz. But as I turned in my 30s, I started learning that wears on you after a while because it's like you never get any good rest. You're constantly up running around doing stuff. It's like in the middle of stuff you don't even want to be in, and it just kind of drags your life down and lessens your lifespan, right? For no good reason. All that stuff I did in those days amounted to one thing. My son was the only good thing, in my opinion, that really lasted out of all that crap besides my military career. The rest of that stuff I could have lived without very easily and probably had a better life doing it. Right? Made better decisions, moved further along, and probably been in a lot better places right now. I've blown through more money than most people had, saying in 15, 20 years and last, what was it, in 5 or 10 years flat. Right? But what do you have to show for it? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Hey,
was it worth? It wasn't worth anything long term, right? It was just short term thrill, excitement. But once that time was up, nothing but a lot of regrets.
but this is where the philosophical people would be like, hey, it's about the journey because that's what created you. Hey, Freeman, do you want to expand on that thing that you was
Well,
saying in chat?
just real quick, ADS sounds like he was moving bricks.
Yeah, I mean, you got to grow up at one point, brother. You really do. You got to grow up, and unfortunately for us, we don't develop as quickly as other cultures of men do. That's a bigger problem with black men that we don't talk about, our underdevelopment, right? Most of us don't grow up or realize things until we're in our 30s, especially money management. Most of that, you know what I'm saying, we don't realize the value of that until we start thinking about retirement, until we start getting, you know what I'm saying, to the point where those knees hurt, right? Versus other cultures of men are thinking about that in their teens and 20s, how they're going to retire in their 40s and 50s, which leaves us in a very peculiar position where you can never afford to get old because you can never afford to retire. Right?
I think that is it's the culture, man, and that's not going to get fixed until marriages come back. Period.
Well, marriages under this construct, Freeman, is never gonna come back. I mean,
yeah, they will. They're going to come back now. Mark it on your calendar. Freeman's Journal said it first. Marriage is going to make a comeback.
January 27, 2026. I mark my calendar.
The Keisha economy is collapsing, right? Just period. There's no
okay,
way
marriages might come back, Freeman. I'll give you that, but monogamous marriages, now that might be a thing of the past.
It ain't.
He might come back to
more
you,
marriages,
but you ain't gonna
more
like it.
marriages equal more monogamy. You can't have one without the other, right? And the country men have to be empowered, right? It's not an option, right? All of our infrastructure is trash, all of it. So the men have to rebuild it. They absolutely have to. The age of men is upon us, man. Men are about to go on a generational run, from electricians to plumbers to everything.
Only thing I want to ask you, Freeman, is that the women outnumber us and they can vote. So how would
Freeman?
It's a matter
easy.
Like now.
Listen, hold on. Let me answer the question real quick, right, Mr. Enigma? So the cultural wheels are turning, right? I'll give you one example. College football is about to go private, right? So when college football and basketball, maybe even baseball, go private, that is going to basically destroy Title IX, right? The whole point of Title IX is if you're going to fund male sports, you have to fund female sports. But once you privatize the cash-making male sports, female college sports die on the vine. And if they are not in college, right, getting that, it's going to kill it at the high school and at the junior and elementary school level, right? Participation. Women aren't going to be funneled into sports, right? So what, they can still vote. If they're not if they are not purposely empowered by men, it don't matter if they can vote. Don't matter.
That's a good
point. What I'm referring to is just sheer head count. They outnumber us, and so you're saying we're going to be monogamous. So they outnumber us just by sheer head count. And then so what do you think? Do you believe that the unattached women, for whatever reason, are going to just take the L?
No, there'll always be whores, man. There'll always be women who are unattached. It's a matter. It's a balance of how many, right? There are tipping points within society. So
let's talk about community.
Mr. Enigma. Think about right now, right? Where you got 66% of black women who are single mothers. You think that's going to stop because people get married?
Oh, no. They're burnt. Listen. Let me clarify, right? They're burnt, right? There is like a generation and a half of women that are just scorched. There's no coming back from that, right? But what we see now is a rejection of that path and that culture. Like the video Hood played earlier, right? You're going to see more and more of these videos of younger black women talking about, we love you, black men, and we got to get married again. I can't be a baby mom, because they're looking at the ashes of the community that their, moms, aunties, and grandmas are laying in. And they're looking at like, maybe I should do something different. Right, you have Cartier Family, which is a channel on YouTube. They're young, black, right of center, right, and there are a dozen other channels like that, right? So that is where you're going to see the uptick. I'm not saying that this scorched generation is going to start getting married, right? That ain't happening.
All right, cool. Right? So while they're burning, while they're alive and on fire, they still have some leverage. While they're alive.
Not really. Not really.
No, wait. Let me explain that too. Listen, you have to understand, people with agency are people with agency. These are not people with agency, right? Maybe in the paradigm you're talking about, they all of a sudden become politically active and vote themselves some stuff. That doesn't happen, right? The EBT class does not vote, right? They don't have the agency for that. right? If you look at actual voting patterns and characteristics of voters, they ain't in it. It just that doesn't happen. Could it change? Sure, but I doubt it will. I doubt they don't have agency, so they'll take what they can get, right? Which is, they'll pair up with somebody, right? They'll have to make that decision. They'll have to make that choice.
Or
It's
you'll
going to
have
be
a
ugly and dysfunctional, but it is what it is.
what you'll typically see in this situation is like in the diaspora, right? Where you got 2 or 3 women with 1 man. That poly thing becomes a lot more real once the bills start adding up, brother.
Yeah,
People get a lot more accessible.
No, I think you will have
That's
situations
what I was
like
going
that,
to.
but it's not going to be like the mainstream. That scorched generation, right? It'll be isolated to them. That is
So
not something that the people who aren't already burnt or in the stepdaddy pipeline are going to do, because it's not attractive. Like, why would you do that?
Freedman's, there's not a lot of stuff that I disagree with you on, but I disagree with you on, you said like it's going to be a generation and a half. I said it was going to be like 3-4 generations at least.
Facts.
I've said that, and
3-4.
I've had like
Explain that 3-4 generations, like generations yet to be born, or like 4 generations existing.
No, yet to be
I
born
don't-
before the problem like even starts to head into the proper direction. That's what I think.
The pendulum's already swinging.
Yeah,
like you can look at YouTube. You can look at YouTube.
Wait, hold on. No, for Freeman's, so you said like a generation and a half. I said 3 or 4, and
no,
I got a lot of pushback when I said that, but then like some of like the bigger content creators in the space, they agreed with me. Well, they never directly agreed with me, but they repeated what I said. It's going to take at least 3-4 generations.
I'm cool. I'm cool with what you guys say. Just make your case.
Well, I'm saying that like pretty much right now, like anybody that's and their kids are cooked.
Wait, say that again. You cut off for me. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm saying like currently, like anybody following this current stuff, they're cooked. Their kids are cooked. Their grandkids are cooked. If they're lucky, they're I can't think of the word right now, but like after their grandkids, like might have a chance, kind of thing.
The thing is, I think that you'll be surprised at how quickly human behavior can change, right? Because Black people as a group in 1950 are unrecognizable as a group in 1970, right? The only thing in between that was the civil rights era. So
exactly.
So what we're saying, what I'm seeing now is, let me give you an example. So like food stamps usage doubled under Biden, like doubled. So it never went down. So that's a big indicator of fraud. Now, even at its baseline before it doubled, I'd say 1/3 of that was fraud, right? So the big thing to pay attention to is how much reduction in food stamp usage actually happens, how much reduction in fraud in the patronage system happens, because that is basically the Keisha economy. So at that point, it becomes a primal choice, right? Choose a man or starve.
Self-preservation is
and I think self-preservation wins out. I've never seen self-preservation not win out. And look, and the pressure, and the pressure I'm talking about, I view the videos of the women talking about poly and all that as a cultural signpost, right? They are under pressure culturally. That's why they are making these videos about poly this and poly that, right? Because they don't actually want to be up under a man. They want some alternate form of air quotes family so they can keep on existing and pull out resources.
And what's funny? That nobody's really talking about it. I've seen a couple people talk about it, but at least in the last like 2 or 3 years, the fastest rising group of homelessness was what?
Yeah, black
women and children.
I'm telling you, if it's between submit or starve, some are gonna choose to starve. But I think most are gonna shut up and try to find a way to eat. Hey, Free Zone, I see you up here, man. Jump in. Is marriage for white people?
Yeah, Free Zone been listening. He clipping shit.
Yeah, I was clipping shit elsewhere, but I'm glad I came back to the conversation. What was the question? What were you gonna ask me, Freeman?
So the question is monogamy for white people?
No. No, and monogamy is for people who value stable families. That's pretty much it. Your ideal type of family is going to be a family with a strong nuclear core that has like grandparents and outside of kin that live very close, so that the authority inside the house is not compromised, but you still have that multi-generational family together. It's something like there's a hybrid between the multi-generational families and the nuclear family. There's a sweet spot right in the middle that's just perfect. Because what they found out was that the nuclear family tends to alienate. It gives stability, but it tends to alienate from the rest of the family. And the multi-generational family gives you stability, but it tends to, there's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, that whole kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they found out that the ideal is that house with the strong nuclear family, and then up the road, a couple miles up the road, where you can go and meet your grandparents and all that stuff. That's where your grandparents and all your family would live, but they just wouldn't be in the same house. And I don't think that's a white people thing. You know what I mean? So,
Free Zone. Like the dude that was actually talking about this, like he's a Canadian, which I don't want to take the L for that. He's a Canadian dude, but he's actually like an R&B singer, and like he said in that interview that his parents are still married to this day. So it's like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. A Canadian R&B singer is kind of crazy, but
man, I know
yeah, I'll leave that there. But nah, man, it's the monogamy is for anybody who will choose it. I will say, I think in this modern generation, this modern time, where everybody's attention spans are off, and everybody wants that new hot thing every 5 seconds and wants a dopamine rush every 2 to 3 seconds. When I came up here, y'all were talking about stability and boring. Success and all of that stuff, most success is very boring. And that's why it's not attractive to a lot of people, because people want success and they've been told that success is supposed to be this exciting thing. And it really isn't. The more mundane you can make things and the more systematic you can make things, the more you can take the excitement out of it, the better that it actually does.
Yep.
I think that would be the only issue with the monogamy in this time. And that's not even like a race thing. That's just like a product of the times where everything is microwave fast.
Well, a lot of people don't realize the systems is the one that really makes the money. I mean, like if we watch Shark Tank, what do the sharks look for in the investments? Something that could be systematically, like kind of replicated. Yep, that's what they look for.
Right, but yeah, and I think a lot of the problem is a lot of people don't calculate failure into their system, and another thing is they don't calculate. A lot of people are just like not into the monotony of what it takes to build a productive system. You know what I'm saying? They want they want that rush. They want that dopamine hit from what they're doing. They would rather be right than be effective. And that's a huge problem with a lot of younger folks. Like there's a lot of younger folks that do get it, right? But the ones that are all plugged into the content, into the social media and plugged into their phones and all that stuff, they're not they're not focused enough to. They're running on emotions, bro. They're not running on systems or any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Like y'all mentioned this, right? And I was talking to my homeboy like earlier today, and his son, right, is of age, and like he's a business owner, and his son's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna start my own business because I don't want to have to grind for like 20 years or whatever. I can just use the internet to make this money." And he's like, "Well, I mean, you still got to put in a bunch of work," and his son just don't get it. It's because like Instagram and all the hustle porn or whatever has kind of like warped people's minds to what it actually takes.
The gig economy.
Well, I mean, you still gonna be putting in a bunch of time if you're gonna do all them gigs.
You still got to work hard, bro. Like they try to make it seem like work smarter, not harder. Nah, you got to do both. You got to work smarter and harder than everybody.
Then we all got to be Daft Punk now.
Hey, harder. Hey, you got to do it, man. If you're trying to succeed, hell yeah. Now the good news is because of the type of climate that we're in, it's actually very easy to succeed because you don't have a lot of competition, because everybody's not trying really like that, because everybody's comfortable. So if you're willing to accept a little bit more discomfort and delay gratification to get to a higher level, then you're well above what everybody else is doing.
Hell, if you follow up with somebody, that sets you apart in this environment. That's crazy.
Correct. So, and there, the whole, everybody got bootstraps now, bro. If you got a smartphone, you got bootstraps. There's no way around it. You can learn everything that you want to hear. And instead of spending 8 hours on a fucking panel talking about nothing but dumb shit, you could, if you broke and your life ain't going well, you could easily look the information up. You could easily take classes. You could do it for free. So the whole bootstraps and all that stuff. What about those that don't got bootstraps? You got a smartphone. You got bootstraps, nigga. Like I don't know.
Free zone. Hold it. That's a great place to actually end this because I was about to pull a plug on this anyway. Freedom Journal, you had something you wanted to say, but we're gonna wrap it up right here.
Okay. To underscore Free Zone Lose point. Look, I started out working on cars with a Haynes manual, right? So I'm dating myself. Some of y'all don't even know what a Haynes manual is in the audience, right? Oh. Black and white photos. I don't know what that is. Just text, right, on how to fix a car. And you get a couple of pictures, and that's how you take off your carburetor and adjust it and put it back on. Then you got YouTube, and it was like a revelation. You can look something up, and it's a video of how to do it, right? You have Udemy, right? You have all these websites where you can do whatever it is you need to do online virtually, right? There is no excuse, right? If you wanted to weld, Welding University is on YouTube, right? If you wanted to be a plumber, Plumbing University is on YouTube. Matter of fact, there is no way because we're down millions of tradesmen, right? If you want in the trades and you're trying to be I don't know, if you're a dude, you're trying to be an influencer or something, or some dude who's working at like a call center or being a dental hygienist playing in somebody's mouth, bro, pick up a blowtorch and make 6 figures. There's no excuse today. They're trying to paint it as, it's super hard. Fools just don't want to get their hands dirty, right?
That's what it is.
These are dudes with soft hands, and they want those patronage jobs that the left wing made for themselves in the white collar world. And they're jealous that they don't have that. And they just don't have it in them to go get calluses on their hands.
You damn right. I'm on them dudes. So what?
Listen, we gotta wrap this one up right here, man. I appreciate you guys coming out today, man. Thank y'all for hitting the panel.
Look, before you go, make sure you burn this stream.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
You said burn the stream?
Burn this stream.
All right, man. Listen, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna see y'all.
All right, take care.
All right, later, Hood.
Peace.
God damn, YouTube kicked me off my own panel. Shoot. But I appreciate you guys there. But we out of here, man. Thanks for hitting that like button. Appreciate everybody who supported the show today, but we are done.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.